was a black dog represented by a black bull whose hide denoted his black skin.
Here's the picture that he showed on the screen. It's a deity El, the god El. Pay attention to the crown or the headdress, if you will. This is a picture from the front of the same statue, a little closer, and a little bit from the side here. Now, this headdress is actually the Atef crown. If you go on Webster's online dictionary, that's what it says. Atef is the specific feathered white crown of the Egyptian deity Osiris. It combines the head jet, the crown of Upper Egypt, with red ostrich feather for the Osiris cult. The Atef crown identifies Osiris in ancient Egyptian painting. If you go to Webster's dictionary, Merriam-Webster, it says Atef, hold on, a tall crown with a long feather on each side, shown in the art of ancient Upper Egypt as worn by Osiris. Okay? Here you can see Osar or Osiris with the Atef crown. This is from the papyrus of Nebket. It's actually in the Louvre Museum, and you can see me filming that papyrus on the video entitled Reality Check. Why black people ain't going nowhere. But you might as well put Afro Style Reality Check. It's going to come up. And in here, it's also from the Louvre Museum. You have Osiris in the middle with the Atef crown, and the description for it. If you go on the website of the Louvre Museum and you type Royal and Divine Triad, you can do a search and you will see they mention that he is actually wearing the Atef crown. Now, finally, you can compare the crowns. Okay, first you have the god of the Arabs Negroes, which first is El, but somehow, some way becomes Allah. But that's up to y'all. That's up to the doctor. And then you have the one that I showed you, Osiris. Then again, from the front, compared with another statue of Osiris, and then finally the same statue from another angle.
Biblical King's Seal discovered in dump site. This is the royal seal of the King Hezekiah, and here we have an Ankh. And finally, last but not least, you need to see it to believe it. The God of the Bible, El, slept in his own dung and urine. This is Ugaritic Narrative Poetry, page 195. And we also have this book here, the Masriah in the Prophetic Literature, where it clearly says that El floundered in his own feces and urine.
Hotep Senuena Senuti Tiran Ishakandugu Kemed. The title of this video is Napah Shadah stole Sanada's money? Question mark. Let me check the sound. Where is it here? It's a bit loud. Maybe reduce the volume a little bit. Now, here. Now go there, sound, and oh yeah, I don't know why it went all the way up. Okay, now that should be a bit better. Let me listen now. Yeah, that's better. That's better. All right. Okay. So the main video, where was it? Yeah, breaking news. Okay. That's how we look together. I'm going to share it in the chat. Actually, I'm going to share the title and the link. That's a conscious community. It's important. It's a public statement. Those are public statements. People complain about inhumane treatment and human rights violation. We know with the spirit of Yah, they're not going to run off with people's money, are they? So here it is in the chat. I'm going to share it. But first, let me greet the family. We have Wab Funk in the place to be, the Pharaohtist in the place to be, Joseph Wright, the Pharaohtist. I said it again. We have Born and Fuji. All right. Now, let's share the video and have a look. There it is. That's the video right there. It's by Uncle Shug, who has 4,000 subscribers. It says, breaking news, Killer Priest steals Napah from Sanetta. After Napah stole Sanetta. Those titles, they kill me. He didn't steal anybody. You know, everybody's free to leave and, you know. But after Napah stole Sanetta's debate money. So I'm going to read the comment while I play, all right? There's no sound.
Goddamn, you talking about all motherfucking flavors is out that motherfucker. With the snow bunnies out there too, bro.
Yeah. Well, you can't do it with Leanne.
I'm not gonna lie, they was fair looking. They was like some beautiful white woman.
My eyes wouldn't go like that if it had been a white woman.
Yeah, but we have to put that to the test, Jeff.
We can't lie and say ain't no such thing as a beautiful white woman. These bitches ugly, fucking white woman. I'm not gonna lie to you. These were some beautiful fucking white women, yo.
And you can't do it.
I'm going to fast forward. You know, I want to get to the message.
And I'm not. You see,
because that person looks like he's a critic of Sanetta, but you know, I want to know what's up. Okay, there it is. About here.
I'm here to wake you up, man.
Wake you up, y'all.
And I'm trying to cause problems.
I know. Confusion. Graveyards are full. Dealing with. The Most High has a doctor for my lungs. Let me.
Oh, you sure it wasn't? You sure you didn't go to the doctor?
I've been here before. These men get. The bitch ass nigga. That's.
Case closed. Now I got enough.
Okay, well, that video doesn't seem to be that informative. Now, I don't know if you've seen that video right there. I've reduced the volume. She was acting like she has some sort of, you know, telepathic power or whatever. But you know, sometimes with how do you call it, static electricity, that can move. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you have a special power, you know. But that's a lady who said we have 3 hearts. You know, she said we have a heart here, a heart like here and here, you know, or 2 hearts. But I think she said 3, you know what I'm saying? But to each his own. It looks like she's into metaphysics. But okay, maybe here's talking about the issue. It seems like he had a long intro.
Killer Priest acting like she a peaceful person.
To take all the spirits in the heavenly realm. And when I say all, Clyde, you know who I'm about, my love.
I'm trying to avoid music because you get strikes, you know, copyright strikes, but let's listen now.
What the hell is going on? Oh man, I've been missing a lot over there in them parts of town. Love me more. Dorothy, I've been missing a lot. My sis Queen Throne, what's going on? My Maria. My Maria. Vetted Epiphany. Indigenous black man. Hey man, don't do that, man. I hope she don't. I hope she don't. Somebody already probably do got dials on my motherfucking ass. The way these people be rocking. Remember that one girl was burying cow tongues in her yard. Y'all remember that, right? Well, I don't want to bring her up because I ain't got no problem with the sister no more. But yeah, she was burying tongues in the yard. You know what I mean? So shit, these people was crazy. You know? Like for real, I mean, like, ooh-wee. Hayden Sherry, what's up? Dragon Ball Z character. Uh-huh. She'll throw a spell. What's up, Lulu? Hey, what's going on? Il Capono, what's up? Hey, Il Capono said she was just doing Michael Jackson moves, man. That shit funny. She do look like she doing that shit too. Oh man. If she bury your drawers in the backyard, you in serious trouble. I done left a few pair behind, man, too. So hopefully mine don't get buried. You know. Toothless tiger. What's up? Yes, Dorothy. Yes. I mean, it's a lot.
That guy's not getting to the point. Now, there is a video. I think it's the first video when the part appeared on the Killer Priest. So I'm going to try to fast forward and look for the part where Sanetta left the comment. Which is going to be a bit difficult, but if I can find it, that will be an attestation. That will be an attestation. But let me go through the chat for the time being. Now, Nikki Whitty is there as well. Hetep Her Neb, this is going to be good. Good fella Nella wrote, go to 136. He shows some message in Killer Priest chat. Thank you so much. You saved me a lot of time. I was about to go forward so far away. So 136. 136. Okay.
It's on and crackulating. Whoa, bombs. He's back in the building. What up, AD?
Yeah.
Oh, man, today is a special day, man. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Flew into town. Hold up. We got to do this right, yo. Welcome to the Killer Priest Podcast. I'm your host, Killer Priest, and I'm back into the temple. You know what I mean? I'm back in the building. Running the rock is none other than ADA Dizzle.
Peace. What's good? Welcome back. It's going to be a wild show. You already know. Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. And wait, hold on. Before I'm going to save the best for last.
Stu. Yo, what's
hold on. Before I'm going to save the best for last. Silo.
Yo, what's up?
Silo. Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. I presume you mean the other video, right? Was it Goodfella Nella? You probably mean this video. I think is at the 10-minute mark. Okay, let me go to the 10-minute mark. Probably he meant the other video, but let's go to the 10-minute mark.
We're loyal, but
I feel like Elijah, you know what I mean?
Flash.
Yeah.
Elaborate on it.
The lungs and the arms. This is your area. Your like area, the teeth, lungs, twin arms. That's why y'all could.
Tell me out, people. I want to find that message from Sanetta. Now, Goodfella wrote 1 hour 36 minutes. Okay, we'll look for it. Seek and you shall find. 1 hour 36 minutes. 1 hour 36 minutes.
Too much. Too much. He's deep. Got that soul.
So when you started, yeah, exactly. That's that spirit, man. That's definitely spirit.
Yes, I love it. The soul is awesome.
Let's see what people saying. Story to tell is my favorite.
Story to tell is definitely one of my favorites. Yep.
DJ Day, shout out to Strong. Salute Amsterdam.
We got to turn up a little bit more.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of nervous that I was turning up too much.
No.
It's music. Don't want to get strike with the copyright.
I think they're talking about 1 hour and 36 minutes on the last video and at the 10-minute mark in this video.
I went to the 10-minute mark. I might go back. Hold on. I have a private message here. 133.32. So let me see. 133.
That's a different video though.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go back to the other one then. Okay, now this is 136, 133, and then I'll do all those timestamps for the previous video. So so apparently it's not that one. Okay, let me go to the first one. Breaking news.
Yeah, that's the one where I sent you the timestamp. Because on that
Okay.
video, that's Killer Priest channel, so he's not going to show it. You just have to look for it.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna show it, so I was like, okay, now so that's the first one. So
Yeah, he's reviewing the video.
okay, so hold on, here I am. So which timestamp? First it was like 1 minute 32, or did it mean 1 hour 32?
No, yeah, 1 hour 33 minutes and 32 seconds.
Okay, 1 hour 33 and 32 seconds. So 1 hour 33.
Y'all see what he put in the chat? Side of the Studios puts Nepal ran off and stolen the money from Mai and Jabari debate. You definitely know that's him because of the text error.
Is this inside? Let me see if I can find that directly from Killer Priest video. But I will take a screen print from. Oh, that was like 5 minutes something. So what does it show? It shows 5 minutes 31. So let me see if I can find it. So 5 minutes 31, and we'll look for Sanel. 5 minutes 31. It could have been deleted after, but I just want to have a look. I'm at 5 minutes. Oh, it is there, brothers and sisters. It is there. We have the attestation. We have the archaeological record. So here, let me share. Hold on. I'm gonna have to YouTube Afimi. No, it's Jeheru. Oh, but what happened? Okay, well, hold on. Yeah, Jeheru, I had to mute you because there's a fair bit of background noise. We have 80 people online. How is it so? Like, people love the juicy stuff. Talk about Mother Nature. We talk about people being anti-African. They don't care. But now I put Napah stole money, so I started this money. We have 80 people all of a sudden. And we only been live streaming for 19 minutes and have a 5 minutes intro. It's only been like 15 minutes. Dang. You understand now why so many people put juicy titles, But anyway, it is what it is. Now, for those who wonder, only members, supporters of the channel can post in the chat. And you have the link to join. It's $3 per month, which is $36 per year. You can cancel at any time. I don't know any personal info. This is handled by YouTube. And you have the link to get on the panel as well. So feel free if you want to. The only requirement is that you show your face. So now, once again, I'm sharing Killer Priest's channel video. And I'm going to share the link in the chat. And the comment from Saneta appears, indeed. So we have the attestation. It's not a rumor. Fact. So here you have the link in the chat. And you can see the title here. Killer Priest has 62,000 subscribers. The title of the video is Napah Shadah, Solomon, and Shroom, Killer Priest live broadcast. I'm sorry, podcast. It was uploaded 7 days ago. It's only a week ago. Everything was all good just a week ago. That's a quote from Jay-Z. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The video has the video has 5,000 views. Hold on.
You had to turn off the camera.
I got my composure back. Okay. Oh man, I really laughed so much in a long time. So the video has 5,000 views. It has 267 likes. And when we go to the right on the chat, what do we see now? The timestamp for those who want to see it, you can go at 5 minutes 30. Here it's exactly 5 minutes 36. And when we go to the right, we do have Senator Studios who wrote Napah ran off and stolen the money from my and Jabari debate. So I'm gonna make a screen capture of this. This is the evidence. This is the attestation. I have it. And if you go there, oh snap. Usually maybe it's when it's live. When you click on these three dots, you can double check. You have a link like go to channel, and you can see that this is the person's channel. But by the name alone, we know this is him. This is Senator Studio. So we have the attestation there. So I guess we don't need to. And I think I'm going to change the thumbnail of this video so people can see the message. So let me just change the thumbnail. So this has been established. Thank you, brothers, for helping me out on this one. I wouldn't have done it by myself. All right. And you know what? I like the other thumbnail better because we see both of them. So, and it's public, so not invading anybody's privacy. However, this screen print is going to be appearing because where is it? Oh no, it's on my desktop. So desktop documents. Dang. Desktop, where is it? Hold on. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Do it quicker than that. Go directly to the desktop. And here it is. So now I can do this. Share screen. Boom. There it is. Now we're good to go. Now we're good to go. So feel free, brothers, anytime you want to add on. We have 85 people online. I'm going to go through the comments. If you have any information about this, are you aware of Napah denying it? Or did she confirm it? Did she say, I don't care? Did you know about this? We have an accusation of stealing. How are we going to deal with this? Are we going to say, we don't care, just like the conscious community doesn't care about people touching on babies? And if you don't know what I mean when I say touching on babies, it comes from the Christian apologist camp. Listen up.
Since I've been a part of this conscious community, sexual misconduct has been condemned and vilified almost unanimously. We saw the rise and fall of Dr. York. We had Hebrew Israelite, the brother by the name of Mighty Hebrew. He was convicted, I think, twice for sexual behavior against minors. He was widely condemned by the Hebrew Israelite community, but apparently forgiven by the Israelites, because I see him all over the place right now on everybody's channel. Another brother by the name of Nazi Yashavel, another Israelite, also involved in sexual misconduct with a minor. We have no idea where this brother is, but he's been sheltered somewhere by an Israelite group.
Now, that was about babies. Now, for women, there's another allegation of rape.
We haven't brought closure to Karinga. We let him build a holiday. The same one who set up Black Panthers in ambushes at UCLA and other places. The same one who tortured his wife and another woman brutally, sticking bottles in their vagina, using electrical shocks, and the FBI saved him.
So we've heard it. That's Dale Jones. He was known in the community. Now, when it comes to people, lying about their credentials, we have also a brother who testified. We have a witness, just like Paul. But it's better than Paul because Paul never saw Jesus.
See, I've been real nice towards you, dog. You ain't even got a bachelor's. I dare you to come forward now, my nigga, and show everybody that fake ass bachelor's degree that you showed me, or I'll bring it forth. You don't have a bachelor's degree, my nigga. I cap for your ass over there on Brother Shaka's channel, but I won't cap for your ass no more. For your ass over there
So we've heard it. Now we've heard also the xenophobia. I dealt with this in my private video, previous video. We have 100 people online. How amazing! Less than half an hour. Now, what do we do with an accusation of stealing like that? Napah is welcome to come in. I mean, Napah is welcome to get on the panel. The link is there. Sanetta is welcome. Anybody who knows about this is welcome. Is it to make Sanetta look bad, like Trackfield is trying to do? Trying to put the blame on Sanetta? What's going on in this conscious community? What's going on with Yahweh, Elohim, El Shaddai? What's going on now? The Spirit of the Lord. Is it an order from the Lord? I don't know. Now let me go through the comments. So I was there. James Powell, the elder, is here as well. All right. Joe Sir is here. Good fella. Indeed was telling me it was the other video. I see your message of Pharaohs. I don't need any disclaimer. I'm showing what's public. I mean, if they want to sue me, they can sue me. James Powell said that he started watching that Kid Priest show, but he didn't finish. Bingo. We have that master. Jason wrote that we love mess. The Pharisees put mess mixed with facts. Yeah, it's clear that Suge and Sanetta don't see eye to eye. Well, it's clear that Suge is not a fan of Sanetta. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi in the place to be. For Brew Miserable Lights. Shaka, the king of receipts. Chris did cap for Gaffy. I watched the show. Chris did it on live broadcast, facts. But he came clean on it. So, brothers and sisters, I went through all the comments. Feel free. State your facts, your opinion. I want to have some clarity. Anybody that knows. I'm tired. I mean, is it true? Sanetta accused Napah publicly of stealing. Did Napah say it's wrong, it's false? Are you aware of it? Some of you heard that show. It was early on, 5 minutes something. So let me know, please, in the chat, But if you want to get on the panel, for those who don't know, I'm sharing the link. Call Napah. Call Sanetta. Come get that man, like Chris MVP Harris says. Now, we have a strong accusation now. And it is new, because when you talk about something that happened 3 weeks ago, they say, oh, that's all news, brother. You live in the past. That's a week ago. They need to get on the panel. I mean, say it ain't so. This is a link to get on the panel. Say it ain't so. Say she didn't steal the money. Say it ain't so. Sanetta directly accused her live on the live stream where she was. You don't get no better than that. I never heard a response from Napah about this situation. Well, strange, a bad look. At least you would say that's false. I deny. We have 111 people watching right now. 111 people watching right now. Some of you know Napah. Oh. Some of you know Sanetta. Sanetta, please. You're welcome here to tell us about the situation. We have Uncle Majed. I'm glad he's not mad at me. Welcome, Brother Hotep.
Greetings, Shaka and Dugu. I'm wondering if I would be permitted to slightly change the topic from what you're talking about here with Napah.
Yeah, but please, let's not talk about the anthropological linguist.
No.
Okay, well, feel free then. Feel free, because feel free.
Well, I know you have your personal things, but that's what I realized. And I was hoping that as a brother, you hold discussions, that you would take the part of being more, what I say, would democratic be a correct word?
Diplomatic.
Diplomatic, but more democratic in terms of like not being like dictatorial with your program or whatever it is now. But that's not really what I call about. I really, because the last notification I get about your program, the title of it was Pan-Africanism is ineffective or something, I believe. So I was wondering, because I've been hearing you participating in the conversation and you've been speaking against the xenophobia and whatnot. But it seems that you also have some issues with some of the progenitors and thinkers inside of the Pan-African movement, or some of the people that lay the theoretical foundations for it. So I want to ask you, what is your geopolitical position in terms of like the black family then?
Well, geopolitical is a big word that is used a lot by Pan-Africans. And I think that we should try to unite at the closer level or more immediate level, and then try to grow, you know. Because, for example, we have people who talk about the United States of Africa. And the reality is that within some countries, people don't even get along, whether it's regarding religion, like Nigeria, for example. You have the North, where Boko Haram dwell. And besides Boko Haram, it's been known that they want the Sharia law, and they don't really see non-Muslims in a good light. Recently, there's a young lady who was Christian, and she was from the North. Now, the north of Nigeria is mainly Muslims, and they actually do practice the Sharia law in many parts of the north. And there was a WhatsApp group, and it was supposed to be for the studies. And some people started talking about the religion. So at one point, the Christian lady, she said, and that's a black Nigerian. She put a message, and I'm paraphrasing, like, okay, I thought it was supposed to talk about the school, the studies, not some idiotic stuff or whatever. So they portrayed her as blaspheming the prophet. The security of the school tried to protect her. There was a mob. They killed her. She was beaten and burned afterwards. I think she was already dead when they burned her. There's a tape of one of the guy that killed her, and he says, yeah, I killed her with that. He shows the piece of wood or plank that he used. Some people were arrested, and then we don't know what happened. So that lady was just killed over some accusation of blaspheming. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, it did not make, a big noise. Now, if a Muslim is killed, particularly because of his religion, his or her religion, that makes waves. But some media did speak about it. That was just an example for Nigeria. In other parts, it's because of tribes, tribalism. You know what I'm saying? People have differences depending on their tribes. And some people actually do kill each other because of that. So we are we're far away from the United States of Africa, when within their countries, within African countries themselves, people are literally killing each other. And it's not everywhere, of course. It's not all the time. Sometimes the ethnic conflicts happen during election time, you see? So I think we have to be realistic, I think we have to be realistic. And what I propose is that people who are consistently lying, people who are stealing, people who are raping women and raping children be excluded from whatever movement we want to have. But that the Pan-Africans don't want, because the Pan-Africans are full of liars, thieves, rapists, and pedophiles. And they know, hey, I'll be good there. The Pan-Africanism is a heaven, a paradise for pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Karenga
I personally would take offense to these kind of labels, because I consider myself a Pan-Africanist, and I don't think I'm a serial rapist or a liar or none of these kind of labels that you say in Pan-Africanism.
No, I didn't say. Maybe I did not word it properly. But Pan-Africanism is a rest heaven for pedophiles and rapists. It doesn't mean that all Pan-Africans are rapists and pedophiles, but we have many who are. But even if we don't have many who are, the few who are rapists and pedophiles, they don't get criticized. Just like in the conscious community, we've heard, I've played earlier, Garfield himself talked about this Hebrew Israelite who was convicted twice for messing with children.
Since I've been a part of this conscious community, sexual misconduct has been condemned and vilified almost unanimously. We saw the rise and fall of Dr. York. We had Hebrew Israelite, the brother by the name of Mighty Hebrew. He was convicted, I think, twice for sexual behavior against minors. He was widely condemned by the Hebrew Israelite community, but apparently forgiven by the Israelites, because I see him all over the place right now on everybody's channel. Another brother by the name of Nazi Yashavel, another Israelite, also involved in sexual misconduct with a minor. We have no idea where this brother is, but he's been sheltered somewhere by an Israelite group.
So that's one example. In the conscious community, people don't care. So you said you consider yourself a Pan-African, and that's fair enough. But are you part of a Pan-African organization?
Well, yeah, I'm part of Rastafari movement, and we have some organization in my country here in Trinidad and Tobago. You know.
Mm-hmm. And what is their stance, for example, of Farrakhan? I'm sure you've seen the clip of Farrakhan explaining that black people are marked and disfigured and ugly because we rebelled against God. Do they have an official statement? I would love to see, because it's been years and I never see once a single Pan-African organization speaking out on that.
Well, you see, as you already detailed, we're very balkanized as African people, and we have found ourselves into various different containers and labels, you know. So sometimes it might be prudent to immediately attack somebody doctrine, even though we could find certain blemishes or holes inside of the doctrine. In fact, it might be better to bring them and let them justify or really validate if this is the teachings that they hold to at this moment, at this current point in time, you know. Like, because some of them, like that disfigurement talk, you self-play it when Muta re-interview him and he was shying away from those kind of positions. He wasn't standing up on it, you know.
Mm-hmm. So I heard you said that it's not really the goal or the objective to attack somebody, but I'm not asking people to attack Farrakhan. I'm just asking people to make their stance, to make a stance about his statement, because to me it is anti-black, anti-black. But others may agree with that. So if they agree with that, I'd like to know. And anybody that agrees with that, I'm not going to roll with them. Because
Okay,
it's
well,
very serious. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me try to lay out like a chronology, because the way that you sometimes you're speaking of Pan-Africanism like it's a monolith within itself too. It's not a monolith. It has various thinkers and ideas, and things have been evolving for like over a century now, you know. A lot of people, when they given the history of the Pan-African movement, they like to start by mentioning Henry Sylvester Williams from Trinidad. He was the lawyer that called for the Pan-African Congress, the first meeting of Pan-Africanisms in London, right? And a couple notable names, particularly W.E.B. Du Bois was there. And in fact, I think certain continental Africans were there as well, right? Another brother from Haiti. No, I think it's Vitalian, Joseph Vitalian. I don't know if you know him. Right?
I'm not familiar with it, or maybe if it's pronounced differently, but that doesn't ring a bell to me.
Yeah, well, I believe he was the physician for Emperor Menelik II in Ethiopia, and he attended the first Pan-African Congress as a kind of de facto representative of Ethiopia in that meeting as well. Now, but what I'm saying,
brother, hold on, if you don't mind, brother. Now you're talking about organizations. I mean, people of the past. What I'm talking about is today. You know, that's what many times I say, what are the Pan-African organizations today? And if there are any, I'm sure there are a few, what is their stance on that? That's what I would like to know. We have somebody who said that because we rebelled against God, we are marked, disfigured, and the essence of ugliness. So I would like to have the
No,
stance
well,
on that.
okay, well, I, as a Pan-African within my authority, I rebuke such a notion that we disfigured and whatnot because of some kind of doctrine and XYZ. That to me, that's like that's easily dismissed and discarded. You know what I mean? Like that's not even a serious talking point in this whole thing. You know what I mean?
And that's where
Like,
we differ. To me, it's extremely serious for a black leader to say that because we rebelled against God, we are marked and disfigured in the essence of ugliness. Basically, it's like a divine curse. And I understand if people don't want to speak on it, there's no obligation. You know what I'm saying? But really, I'm speaking about organizations, not individuals. You see, I don't expect you to say, okay, that's how I feel about him saying that. I'm expecting these Pan-African organizations, wherever they are, whichever they are, to speak on that. You know what I'm saying? That to me, that's extremely important because they don't speak about the rapists and pedophiles. They don't speak about the people who steal or scam, and they won't even speak when somebody teaches that black people are marked, cursed, and disfigured. I'm not going to associate myself with them. I can't. It's not possible. That's how I feel, and I think I should have the right to feel that way.
but that's what I'm saying. That position was never the position of a Pan-African. You know what I mean? And as you even highlighting further, they have notions of Asiatic identity above and beyond the African identity or whatever it is, you know. So, like, I don't know if that. I don't think there should be like the central representative of Pan-African ideas to say, well, the Nation of Islam is at the forefront of that, you know. In fact, if you really bring it down to that, the real champion of Pan-Africanism is Rastafari movement, the Rastafari movement.
But
Because
brother,
we
hold
actually,
on, please, brother. Brother Uncle Majed. Now, you did say that Farrakhan's statement is anti-Pan-African. Is that what you said? Or you said it's
yes,
not a Pan? Okay. Now, how do you feel about Pan-Africans who support Farrakhan then? Since he
who
made
support
some.
Farrakhan.
Oh well,
Well,
we can.
that's what I'm saying. You can't.
Now, I can tell you. Oh, you're frozen right now. You're frozen right now. I don't even know if you can hear me. Okay, now it's okay. You're unfrozen. Well, you asked me who supports Farrakhan. I would say that Dr. Ma'at supports Farrakhan because she invited one minister of the Nation of Islam called Dr. Wesley Muhammad, the same one who said, throw Kemet in the garbage can, throw Ma'at in the trash can, throw Amin Rad Islam, making God away. Reggie supports Farrakhan. He has defended him, even when it comes to the murder of Malcolm X. And many, Professor Griff, obviously, he spoke smack about John Henry Clark in defense of Farrakhan. And if we do a poll, you will see that many people, particularly in America, defend Farrakhan no matter what he says, no matter what he do, no matter what he does. Sorry, and that would include a fair bit of Pan Africans. So here it looks like we have a problem.
No, well, what happened is it come like your position is to basically discard somebody entirely and wholesome from like if they make one blemish or two blemish. You understand? So I suppose it's in the spirit of unity that somebody might tolerate somebody with dissenting views or unappealing positions to themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Well, brother, Uncle Majed, have you seen the Farrakhan speech?
Yes, I heard it. Yes.
And you call it a blemish?
It's a blemish on their paradigm towards black unity. If they think that is a disfigurement and a curse by the Almighty, that's why they have these features and whatnot. You know what I mean? No person who take pride in themselves as an African and a black person would go along with that rhetoric. You know what I mean? But I suppose it's really incumbent upon the members of the Nation of Islam to basically question their leadership about that type of position. You know what I'm saying?
Well, brother, stay with us because we have 94 people online. We don't usually have about 100 people, and I'm sure some of them never heard Farrakhan's speech. It's only going to be 3 minutes. So listen up, brothers and sisters. This is the doctrine of the Nation of Islam. Not Farrakhan, but the Nation of Islam. It was taught by Elijah Muhammad as well.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair. Because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you're so busy frying it. That's why you're so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
That was for the record. For those who didn't know, we have the Elder James Powell. Feel free to speak, Elder.
How you guys doing on the panel, man? I'm just want to say what's up, peace. About like Khalid go across the board on his greeting everybody, but I just say what's up, man. But I don't know which one to start on. I know you just got through showing the video about Farrakhan. I never agreed with it. I'm gonna be just straight up. I was brought up as a child out of religion, just like most black people. If your parents wanted to try to get their kids' lives or just have a decent family, they use religion, and I'll call it like I see it now. They use religion or that Bible as a good guidance and information book to get your family started, to get your life set right. What I see Farrakhan doing, I know what he did then. He was trying to go along with what the book says, but it just wasn't right to me. Why should we be did this way and nobody else? You know, I know in the Bible, the Jews were supposedly, you know, they were wandering in the desert for 40 years and all this kind of stuff. I guess that was their punishment.
No, hold on, Elder. Hold on, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you said you guessed Farrakhan was going to buy the book. Which book are you talking about?
I'm thinking Bible, because that's all I know, man.
Well, that's not what it is, actually. You know, this is what Elijah Muhammad taught, and Elijah Muhammad was taught by Far Muhammad. And Elijah Muhammad even wrote that in Message to the Black Man and a few other books as well, that we were more delicate, and in order to endure the life in the jungle, which is Africa, because Farrakhan said the jungles of East Asia is what we call Africa today, and that's when our phenotype changed. You know, so that's not from the Bible. It's very similar to the curse of Ham when we have the full breakdown in the Talmud, but this is not from the Bible. So yeah, just for the record, but feel free to continue, brother.
Okay, you said so. Those statements came from the Talmud, the Muslim book, or where did that come?
Well, this like for those who don't know, that Farrakhan is the like he says, the national representative of Elijah Muhammad. He doesn't really say he's the leader, but we know he is the leader because Elijah Muhammad died in 1975. So this is a teaching of the Nation of Islam, and the first founder or ruler is Elijah Muhammad. Some people will argue it will be Far Muhammad because Far Muhammad is really the one who founded it. But you know, these teachings are the teachings of Far Muhammad, and Far Muhammad taught Elijah Muhammad from 1930 to 1934. Then Elijah Muhammad said that he heard voices for years, but nobody's criticizing him for that. But even Farrakhan said that he had a vision where he was taken into a ship, and he heard Elijah Muhammad speaking to him. But you know, the 5%er amongst the track field female cat crew is not going to talk about that because they're just picking and choosing. So to make the long story short, this is the doctrine of the Nation of Islam as taught by Elijah Muhammad. And the one who taught Elijah Muhammad is a white dude that they call Far Muhammad. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, now I got a better understanding of it then. Wow. That's a crazy statement there. I mean, to put on people, and not just as Muslim people was hearing that. As we see now, you have a video of it, and if they're pushing that out as facts about what happened to the black man and why that's the way we are, I mean, they're binding people up that really don't know any better. And as you can see right now, you getting me a little more straightened out, because I thought the statement came out the Bible, and it didn't even come out the Bible. It just came out somebody's head. It seems like that's crazy, man. I never believed it. Those statements and even more that I've noticed in the Bible itself. You know, the Bible is contradictory. I don't care what anybody say. It's just stuff in there that contradicts a lot of stuff that's going on. And it just started pushing me slowly away from the Bible. My grandma took me to, I told you about it before, but as I got older, man, I knew something was wrong. And I know something's wrong with that statement there that the Muslims are putting out. They just pretty much, like you say, they're a cult, man. You know, they're just a group of people, and the Muslim they call themselves taking people out the gutter, and that's a good thing, because the Bible would do the same thing. I think all these religions has a basis. Their basis is all the same. You know, they want to reach down and help the man that's just, I mean, trodden down, and he just don't have nothing going for him. So you just accept the leader, whoever it might be, Jesus, whatever the rest of them leaders' name, and we will lift you up out the gutter. And they took a lot of prisoners out of prison. And I'm gonna have to say it. Of course, we were doing things wrong back in the day, and we did a lot of them to try to help take care of ourselves, because we were pushed away from the work field in a lot of ways. I remember that myself. I remember working back in my day, and I had to do twice as much work. I think all of us as black men know that, and I'm quite sure a lot of the women have to do some of that too. But it's just crazy, man. It's these religions, and we need to get away from them, because they're doing nothing but messing us up. And Farrakhan, with that statement, whoever he got it from, his leaders or whatever, is just binding black people up. That's crazy.
Well, on elders. Sorry, elder. Uncle Majed wants to interject. Feel free, Uncle Majed.
Yeah, man. So what I'm saying is, yes, the religious ideas and the doctrines could mislead people into down certain paths that they don't need to go down, right? But I was wondering, Shaka and Dugu, if how familiar you are with the teachings and the works of Dr. Amos Wilson.
I'm familiar with him because I've heard a lot of his lectures, but I did not read the blueprint for Black Power.
Because most recently, like last night, I was hearing some clips and thing. It come like he have spoken directly to these same issues about power and all of them things already, you know. And what happened is now the imposition of an individualistic mindset upon us. You know what I mean? A lot of people think when you assert yourself as an individual, like that is equated with being free or autonomous. You understand? Meanwhile, the more you try to individuate yourself, is the more easily you come under the domination of oppressive groups of people. If you understand, if you have no group identity. So what happened is the good things what we could take from the Nation of Islam is probably the organizational skills, some administrative skills, and things of these kind of nature might have and certain things like that, you know. So
Yeah.
I think
Okay. Well, I hear
now we
you.
have
You know.
many organizations.
Go ahead. Finish your point, brother. What? Okay. Finish your point, brother. Finish your point. Yes.
No, yeah. So I was basically saying we could easily, it's easy to find the faults in various groupings of people, but then we could also try to take the good out of what they have produced and refine what else they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, you know, brother, and I appreciate what you're saying, but this is something I hear a lot. The fault. This is more than a fault. This is the divine teaching. They say it comes from God. So a lot of people say, well, we take the good and we leave the bad. But my stance, and maybe I'm weird, is that I have never heard a single Pan-African organization making a public statement stating what their stance is regarding this so-called divine teaching, you know. And until I do, then I will have the same stance. Pan-Africans accept that, you know. If there's something that bothers you, you will speak out about it. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I propose that we do, because we can always talk about this later on, is to try to, you know, get back into this main topic because it's an accusation of stealing. You know, I'm not too worried about the relationship. You know, so this thing happens. People break up, make up eventually. But we have another accusation of stealing. So what I propose to do is just to go through the comments to see if we have any insight. And if you know Napah, tell her she's welcome. If you know Sanetta, call them, send them an email, send them a text message so we can get some clarity. We have a 1-week-old accusation of stealing. So let's get some clarity. That's what I propose. Here, good fella Nella wrote, Shaka, I do think you generalize Pan-Africans due to personal experiences. The child molesters in the conscious community are mostly Abraham believers and atheists. See, my thing is that it doesn't matter to me if those child molesters are Abrahamic or not. Even if they are followers of Kemet, it bothers me. Even if they follow Ma'at, it bothers me. My thing is that Pan-Africans accept that. That's my issue. Like, who's going to say publicly, okay, we're going to roll with child molesters and rapists? You know what I'm saying?
I think the error in your whole thing there, Shaka, is that Pan-Africans as a whole do not accept what you're saying they accept. And you're doing a disservice by trying to basically say that Pan-Africans accept these types of behavior and thing because you have certain case scenarios.
Well, brother, let's do it this way. I've played track field. That's my nickname for him. I'm sorry I'm using that nickname, you know. That was last year. Last year, he spoke about, and I played it, about these Hebrew Israelites who touched on babies, and he said that one of them was convicted at least twice. I haven't heard Pan-Africans speaking out on that. And I personally know in France, the French-speaking world, about this pedophile scholar, Pan-African, who's been invited by Pan-Africans to give lectures. He's been defended publicly by Pan-Africans. There's another guy who's the leader of a Pan-African organization. He's a serial rapist. His criminal records has been published. The black news media who talked about it after the white news media talked about it, they were sued by the guy. He only sued the black medias. He did not sue the white medias. And Molefe Asante's organization gave him a trophy and the video is online, is online on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So if Pan-Africans don't agree with child molesters and rapists, let them state it for the record. But here, this is recent, because what I'm talking about, they're going to say, oh, that was years ago, you live in the past. Truckfield talked about it last year. And
one thing I've come to realize, many people who engage in the conscious community are not Pan-African. So Brother Garfield is not a Pan-African. He actually rubbishes plenty of the principles and ideas of Pan-Africanism. So then, as revealed most recently, Reggie, all these people is not Pan-Africans, and they don't agree with the principles of Pan-Africanism and various things like this. So I think I think you're conflating conscious people with Africa, with the Pan.
If you don't mind, brother. Professor Smalls and Professor Jeffries, are they Pan-Africans?
As far as I know, yes, I would consider them Pan-African, yes.
Well, I haven't heard them speaking out against or about these people who molested children. Now, one of them, I was told, is in a hospital now, you know, and I read in the comment that Professor Jeffries is at the hospital, so I wish him well. If he's at the hospital, he cannot speak on that. But those are just examples, you know. Those are two among so many other scholars and elders, you know what I'm saying? Reggie's been dissing Kemetic people for the longest, and this one speaks volumes. It's less than 1 minute long.
I don't believe in old Egyptian gods. I don't believe in that stuff. I wasn't even taught that bullshit, right? I'm the one who bangs against the Kemetics. I bang against them, and they can't get through me because the gods that they worship, right, were born from another group of thinking, right? So you can't come with me with no goddamn Heru or no other that bullshit. Show it to me in the primary, show it to me in writing, show it to me in the period. You're making the bullshit up.
So we strive for the African ways of life. This guy comes on and says this. If, let's say, people don't want to talk about the pedophiles because it's personal and it's private, we have this public statement here from Reggie. I haven't heard from Brigadier Amen. I haven't heard from Geopolitics, Mfudishi Geopolitics. I haven't heard from Professor Jeffries. I haven't heard from Professor Smalls. I haven't heard any single elder speaking on that. So while we are striving and sharing the information, somebody else is going to diss it, just like actually Dr. Wesley Muhammad did. But it didn't stop Dr. Ma'a to invite him, even though Dr. Wesley Muhammad, PhD, said that we should throw it in the garbage can, in the trash can, and it's only going to be 1 minute long.
Wrote Kemet garbage. If you want to get off sensitive, come on, go ahead. About blacks, conquering blacks. Throw Maya in the trash can. Throw Amin Ra, the slave making God away.
Feel free, Uncle Majed.
Well, what we're saying is you have to listen intently and make distinctions in what people are saying. Because as far as what I heard the clip we play from Reggie trying to say that he don't literally believe in the deities of Kemet and whatnot, right? And he trying to come across abrasive and harsh or whatever. But I don't think what he's saying I don't even think you would agree with it in principle, because I don't think you believe literally, physically, in like a bird-headed Heru or any of the kind of anthropomorphic figures where you see in ancient Egypt. You know what I mean? So
that's not exactly what Reggie said. You know, he used the term BS. As, you know, I mean,
well, right. You know how Reggie is. You know, he's an antagonist and a contrarian. But literally, if you listen what he say, he trying to talk about he don't believe in that like in terms of like it's a belief, like it's real. He talking about these is ideas of human culture.
Why doesn't he use the same terminology towards Christianity or Islam? Why does he use it only towards Kemetic people? Besides, he used the term Egyptomaniacs as well recently.
Well, right, but Reggie, I think he have a lot of mental issues going on and a lot of issues with him own self and things like that. You know that. So I mean that's evident on these airwaves and things. So Reggie I wouldn't even. I don't really have much more to say about Brother Reggie. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, and I hear what you're saying, but he's in charge of the channel with 189,000 subscribers. You know, and I
Well,
think that
this is the thing. So some of these things are alarming. I told you this because I want to believe that Sanetta, right, who been doing this thing for long, that he's supposed to have a proper discernment upon certain people and XYZ. But it come like he have built such a big platform. He have the ear and the attention span of a lot of African people, Afrocentric people who like to hear these conversations. And then you have given the custodianship of two of the platforms onto people that we come to realize now they're not on the same page with the black nationalism and the Pan-Africanism idea. Now, as strange as it may be, you are not on basically you're not in alignment with Pan-Africanism because you think that the offenses of individuals is extrapolate onto the whole group. But I actually think you are a Pan-African Shaka Indugu Kemet because some of the basic principles like the principle of reclaiming ancient Egypt as a kind of classical civilization for Pan-African unity, then like these things that even you following up on the culture of ancient Kemet, that is a Pan-African thing to do. You understand what I'm saying? So I think
I understand.
it's
But
labels.
I make the distinction with people who are self-proclaimed Pan-Africans and people who are actually members of Pan-African organization. And it seems like as time goes, we have less people who are actually members of Pan-African organizations, just like we have non-temple Moors. But I hear what you're saying. I appreciate that. Now, what I propose is for me to just continue to go to the comments because I'm trying to shift back to the main topic. We have a 1-week-old accusation of stealing. So, Born FOG told me to open the chat. No, actually, he was saying that if I open the chat, then he would need moderators because the trolls will be out. We have 123 people. We don't even need. If I open the chat, can you imagine how many people will be there? So that would be just too much to go through. So, they can get on the panel though, you know. So here, the Fair Autist is proposing that I open the live. I guess she means the chat. The chat is for members only, for those who don't know. But I've shared the link to get on the panel, you know, so people, and I'm still sharing it now. Somebody has any insights, Sanetta, Napah, anybody that knows about it. So link to get on the panel. The only requirement for the panel is that you show your face. So James Powell wrote, Jed is slightly bug dancing with his hands. Okay, well, here I'm being asked to open the chat again.
No, brother Shaka. I myself is just a person.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, we lost him, but it's a connection issue. I think it's going to resolve. So, okay, we have. Yes, feel free, brother. Feel free.
Quick question: are you on Facebook?
Yes, I don't really use it. I rarely go there, but I am on Facebook. My forever, yes.
Okay, because I saw my forever page. I didn't know if it was you. So.
Now, here the message. Yes,
I got one look. Okay, one thing I wanted to say about the Sanetta and Napah issue. I know it's none of our business, but Sanetta and Napah have to understand, and this is just my opinion, and I don't know how many other people might feel the same way, but a lot of people say that's personal business. You know, don't get in people's business. You hear that all the time out here in just everyday life, and it makes sense, especially if people don't bring their business to you and start telling you about what's going on and asking you your opinion and all that kind of stuff. But I think Sanetta has to understand, with him having the biggest channel, pretty much the biggest one, or one of the biggest out here on YouTube, you have to understand when stuff happens and it gets out into the streets of YouTube, you know, people are going to go to looking at it and checking it out, sizing it up, giving their opinion on it. That's just human nature, and it's normal to do that. So I can understand what you're doing, trying to get to the bottom of it, because as we do know, we have enemies, all of us, and some people will take stuff and misconstrue it and tell lies on you and whatever else. And I see what you're doing, and not just with this situation, but many others that you've dealt with. I see you as trying to get to the bottom of stuff, not trying to be nosy, or just get the truth out. And that's what people need today to really go on and live and be a successful people and have a successful life. So I've seen like I said, Napah, she did some things and said some things, and I didn't agree with a lot of it. And same way with Sinetta and the way he did things, but this need to be dealt with. That's just all I'm saying. And hopefully it'll be straightened out. Things will be, you get to the bottom of everything, and then just we can put it behind us and go on and deal with more serious things, like trying to deal with our people and get us on track so that we'll stop killing each other like the 5 policemen and just the everyday street stuff that go on. I've been seeing all my life, so I'm gonna just leave it right there and said, go keep doing what you're doing, Shaka. Ain't nothing wrong with it in my book.
Yes, Elder. And for the record, I don't want any misunderstanding for the people listening, because we have 130 people watching right now. I'm not asking for the relationship between Sinetta and Napah. I'm asking about the accusation of stealing. That's what I'm asking about. So if there was any misunderstanding, I don't want to know what happened between them as a couple. I'm just asking. Sinetta went publicly on the chat of Killer Priest's live stream. Killer Priest is a well-known artist. I think his best-known song is One Step, with a very nice beat that many people reuse later on. So he was kind of close to the Wu-Tang Clan collective. So he's known. He has a successful platform, and Sinetta went publicly and posted this, what you're seeing on the screen there. I didn't even know until earlier. Somebody either said it or wrote it in the chat. So I decided, okay, let's just deal with that. So just wanted to clarify that point. Now, that master is asking me what Pan-African movement supports pedophilia. Well, like I said, Molefe Assante's organization, that wouldn't be pedophilia, because they were not minor, but they've given a trophy to a serial rapist. Now, there's a known pedophile. We have people, when I was doing a museum tour, one of the ladies said that the guy was a pedophile, and the person who told us about it is somebody who's from the same country as the person. And he's known. I'm not saying his name because you never know what they're going to try to say, but we know exactly who we're talking about. I have a tape on that. People, the French-speaking Pan-Africans, they know exactly who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't stop them from inviting the dude to give lecture. The girl was like 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? So if you ask any French-speaking Pan-Africans, they might tell you the name, they might not tell you the name, but they know very well who I'm talking about. And I was attacked and slandered because of that, because I'm not accepting that. You know what I'm saying? And besides the pedophilia, there's some dudes who went to jail for rape, and it's cool, they are accepted. So this is something that I've seen for years, and I'm just tired of it. I can never roll with it. Now some things are too far. They went along. Oh, V Bennett, feel free to speak, brother.
Oh yeah, blessings, yo. Blessings to everybody, the panel and the chat. Yo, I see you guys are at it again. So it's been nice to hear you all discussing some of the topics actually. But the topic you brought up today is so important, but I think it's kind of like some different aspects, that merge together and just confusion with what's going on with Pan-Africanism, that issue of these guys being labeled as Pan-Africans, and what a Pan-African is, and then also this thing about Reggie, right? That channel, first of all, I would say normally in a real organization, or in an organization that has a component in it where you deal with these kind of issues, right? Responsibility, what their members do, members' behaviorship and things like that. Normally in organizations, you have votes and things like this every year on who the leadership is, what the rules are, So when I think of Pan-African organization, or I even think of just a private organization, a business, usually this is part of your business, behavioral issues and how you deal with behavioral issues. So they don't seem to have a doctrine about it. So we don't really get to know who's responsible for anything, pretty much. We just get to find out as it happens. And, sure, people can complain, but if you don't have a formal mechanism in place to take complaints from the community, to take, to even know any type of protocol. I mean, this is just YouTube. So you go there, and that's all you have the right to expect, pretty much, when you watch any of the channels. They're kind of operated as it's mine to do whatever I want, and you kind of see that. And you don't just see it in always in what they say, but how it's being said too. Right? How we discuss these things with each other, how we address people, how we address topics. So I just think people, well, that's one thing I wanted to say. And then on top of it, just logistically, when I think of Sonetta's popularity, House of Consciousness popularity, everybody is not going to be a part. Everyone doesn't join these panels. Everyone doesn't want to play a role for the same reason you do, Shaka, or any of us. We don't know what the reasoning is behind any individual. All we do is see the output once they, what they say when they're on the channels. We see that obviously now, Reggie, you saying he operates the HOK channel, right? So, but we don't get to know really the reasoning behind why does a person do this. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because, look, we've had this kind of situation happen where we have individuals do a lot of work, build what you could call an institution that the people look to, and people look to House of Consciousness, people look to Sonetta, right? So in a lot of ways, that's something not too many people could do, or at least we give them the credit that Sonetta, he did this. But that every time you make something and you get in position to do something, there's always others that want that position. And so that's what I mean by motivations and things like that. So I don't really know. All I know is Martin Luther King, he had people around him he couldn't trust. He did trust them, but you see the outcome. There's always this kind of thing going on, and you only get to find out in the end what's really happening. So all I would say is rules, regulations, protocols prevent some of this behavior, I would think, and put away some of this doubt. So the community has doubt, essentially, and normally an organization would address the doubts clearly, but we just us, man. We used to this stuff now, Shaka. We're used to the idea of pedophilia not being nobody's responsibility. It's the police. It's the police responsibility. We're used to addressing each other, calling each other the N-word. We used to yelling at each other openly. We're used to talking down to each other. I mean, that clip you just played of Reggie, that's just like an open, he can say the same thing without talking down to people, you know what I mean? But again, some people want to be talked down to. Other people, like myself, I would look at that behavior straight up in real, if I confronted it in real life, I would be quiet and I would be, just instinctively looking to stop that behavior, not necessarily communicate with it. So, I mean, we deal with this. We created a place where chaos kind of rules in some kind of way, and we should address it. But I agree with the Trinidadian brother, man. I don't know if this is a Pan-African thing, because I don't consider a lot of these people Pan-Africans, man. I don't. I mean, some of the elders, yes, they believed in the philosophy of Pan-Africanism. Pan-African institutions specifically, I'm not quite sure if that's what they're doing. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, and regarding what you've said, now it's known that I'm not a fan of the Nation of Islam, because of their anti-black teaching, and also anti-African teaching as well. But people don't really care too much if it's South African lately because of those FBA movements. But that being said, we clearly heard that black people are marked and disfigured in the essence of ugliness and so on, and that's because we rebelled against God. But there was an accusation against Riza Islam, who is quite popular online, and there was a private online meeting that has leaked. And Farrakhan spoke about the accusation of rape. He spoke about the fact that they were not supposed to be together in the same room and so on. And he said this is a serious charge. This is a rape accusation. Now, Riza Islam happened to marry his partner, because the person who accused him of rape was actually his partner. I don't know if they were engaged, but probably they were engaged. So on the outside, people saw Riza Islam, and I saw when he proposed to her. They went for dinner, and he's like, "Will you make me the happiest man in the world?" So maybe it was damage control, But internally, they dealt with that, and some people have spoken out about their internal way of dealing with things, and it means that she filed a complaint to somebody, and then it was reported to the headquarters or to people responsible. So at least they addressed that. But with this here, coming from Garfield Reed, just last year, I haven't heard anybody deal with that. Actually, I heard that they are not only forgiven, but one of them is being sheltered by some Israelite group. And now we have 135 members, and the chat is open. I want you to tell me how you feel about that.
Since I've been a part of this conscious community, sexual misconduct has been condemned and vilified almost unanimously. We saw the rise and fall of Dr. York. We had Hebrew Israelite, the brother by the name of Mighty Hebrew. He was convicted, I think, twice for sexual behavior against minors. He was widely condemned by the Hebrew Israelite community, but apparently forgiven by the Israelites, because I see him all over the place right now on everybody's channel. Another brother by the name of Nazi Yashavel, another Israelite, also involved in sexual misconduct with a minor. We have no idea where this brother is, but he's been sheltered somewhere by an Israelite group. This brother.
Now, Elder, I know you wanted to speak, but please hold that thought, because there's something very serious that was put in the chat. Now we have to know how accurate it is, right? Now here we have somebody called the Top Flight Security who wrote, Shaka, remember the short fat Hebrew that used to always be with Captain Tozariak, used to always say stinking Africans. I talked about that during the previous live stream. There was that guy, every time he would never say African, he would say stinking African. Well, here's what that person wrote. He's locked up for rape, and Tozariak still supports him with money. Now, how do we know if it is true or not? But here was a statement made. You don't even have to look for rape and pedophilia. It just comes to you. I was just looking for the accusation of money being stolen by Napah. Money from Sanetta being stolen by Napah. And here's what somebody wrote. So now, how can we verify that? Do you know the guy's name? Please tell me if you know the guy's name. And I know in America we can look up people's criminal records. As a matter of fact, how come nobody put up the criminal record of those two Hebrews that were named? Now, maybe those are just social media names, so maybe it's difficult to know their real name. But Top Flight Security, if you know about this, at least tell us how you know about this. Was it he said, she said? Did you hear it through the grapevine? Or is there any way for us to know in more detail? Now, Ching, feel free to speak, brother.
Hey, peace to the panel, peace to the chat. What's up, Shaka? I mean, you hitting it right on the nose. Well, you have that online community with Sonetta. They running a sex cult and a pedophile ring over there, because it went on with Polite, Shaka Utmost, the Mighty Hebrew. All these guys have allegation towards kids and women, and people was online acting like they're ignoring it because Sonetta has a popular platform. And that's what people got to get away from, trying to be somebody or be up under somebody just because of the numbers. But people out here are getting hurt, kids and women and people pride and situations out here being hurt by these guys. You got Polite has scammed the community, scammed Sonetta, Garfield has scammed numerous people, but they keep accepting these people back. And these people sitting up here, it seem weak. All these people seem weak in this community and not doing nothing about it. Whereas though this guy Polite has a court date for next month with 6 DNA evidence of semen on a 14-year-old child, and don't nobody talk about this, and that's sad.
Brother, I beg to differ. Everybody spoke about it. The whole
Yeah, I
community
mean,
spoke
not
about
now.
it.
Yeah, I mean, they ain't like Son Netta don't talk about it. He trying to bring Polite back on his platform.
Well,
Like,
now, yes, it's true. But Polite spoke. I'm sorry, Sanetta spoke about this. And the guy has been free for more than a year.
yeah, because he out on bail. He on bail, but he still has. It was 6 DNA evidence of semen on a 14-year-old. That's something that people is ignoring.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now, Tasha K said that first. Now, I told people it's quite strange that Jeffrey Epstein, who is a billionaire, was locked up for messing with underage people. And we have a guy who talks about black power, and we find 6 semen stain on somebody's clothing, and he's free. Now, apparently and I'm not trying to defend him because his trial is next month, in a few days. But apparently he was in a relationship with the mother. So if you're in a relationship with the mother, it's not difficult to find the stains. Now, once again, that is what Tasha K said. Now, if in America somebody molests a child and they say that they have the semen stain, how come the guy is free? A guy who talks about black power.
That's the American system. You can get a bail for that type of charge because they don't look at that serious. They only locked him up because of the DNA stains. They wouldn't even have locked him up if the stains didn't match his DNA, brother. He's still
locked it up. He's been free. He's been free.
Yeah, there's a lot of people get free on bails in America. You can get locked up for murder and get a bail and be free until you go to court. He's still being charged with it. Like people trying to ignore that this is DNA evidence on a 14-year-old that he was in a hotel room. That's sick. Like if y'all guys, that's something niggas want to be related to. That's why the community the way it is.
No, brother, I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. If tomorrow I'm accused and somebody says they find Shaka semen stain on a minor, will you wait for the trial or will you condemn me straight away? Tasha K had to pay millions to Cardi B for lying. So at least somebody's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. The people who killed Kyrie, is it Kyrie? The young brother, 29-year-old brother.
Kyrie Nichols.
Yes, thank you. Kyrie Nichols. Those guys, they are locked up, aren't they? So indeed, some people indeed pay bail, but usually you're not out of bail if they have sufficient evidence to know that you are most likely
that's
guilty.
Not true, brother. That's not true, my nigga. Like I'm in America. I've been a Fed prison and all that. I know they give bails. They give you a bail.
You know what?
The sex crimes.
You're saying the same thing.
The sex crimes is really a white person crime. That's why the white people do that and be getting all fucking get lenient time and all of that. Is made up for the white people. He got that because he got a bail, a high bail, but he just paid the bail to be out on the streets until he go to court. But he wouldn't have got locked up if he did not get. They only came and got him because they had 6 DNA stains on a little girl face. If even these guys in the community have a daughter or some kids, that don't sound sick to you. I don't care what if he on bail or locked up.
It does sound sick to me, brother.
Somebody to say, bringing him back into the community and to teach somebody who want to learn something from somebody like this. That's sick, man.
Yes, it does sound sick. But hold on, Elder, please. Now, brother, I heard that the semen stains were on the clothes. Now you're saying it's on the face.
It was part on the face and if it's on the clothes and on the face, if it match his DNA, that's his, brother. It ain't like it ain't nobody else's.
Okay. Now, so basically, what you are telling us is that if somebody in America sexually abused an underage girl and they even find the semen, that the person can pay bail. That's what you tell me.
Yes, it's bail. Yeah, it's America, brother. There's a lot of.
It can happen, Shaka.
Yeah, there's a lot of people being locked up for a lot of things. You can pay bail until you go to court.
That I know. I'm aware of that. But somebody basically raping an underage girl and just paying bail, that I never heard that before.
Listen to what you said. He didn't rape her, brother. It was just semen stains found. You mixing two things up. If he would have intentionally raped her, he would have got a no bail. He didn't rape
That's
her.
right.
It was just semen stains found. You mixing things up and trying to take a good route. That's a bad situation as a man.
Well, you know what I want to say. Hold on, please. Tasha K reported that he actually raped her. Like basically, when you forcibly insert your penis into inside of somebody's mouth, legally that's rape. It's not penetration. It's not vaginal penetration, but it could be classical, or maybe they classify that as sexual assault or not rape.
They didn't say it was rape. They dropped some of the charges. They dropped some of the charges. Then they brought 2 charges up as felonies. These guys over there mixing up the information because people so enlightened by the starstruck, they want to be under polite and son that and them. It's like some weirdos, and these people want to ignore the whole situation. First of all, Son Netta got online on his own platform and said he called Brother Polite Baby Dr. York because Son Netta wife niece is one of Polite's wives now.
I've documented that. I've documented that. He did
all this.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No, actually, brother, I don't ignore this because I actually made a video about that. About how Saneda did nickname him, but he was beefing then. Now, but what's for sure is that I don't know for sure that there was a semen stain. It came up from Tasha K, who was legally condemned.
Stain, brother. They got
hold
the
on,
document.
brother. Please allow me to say that, please. Now, what's for sure is that this report came from Tasha K. Tasha K was condemned by a court of law for lying. Now, the trial is just in a few days. Let's wait and see.
Tasha K don't have nothing to do. She just report news of what she hear. People got the records, the court, they got the police records. The reason they locked Polite up is because of the DNA was found.
They did not lock him up. He's been free ever since. He's been free for more than a
They
year.
locked him up.
Shaka, you're not understanding what he's saying.
Hold on. Brother, calm down. I'm not your enemy, brother. Calm down. He was arrested at one point and he was released. And like you said, he was released on bail. Now, maybe you're saying that he went to jail for like, I don't know, a couple of days or for 24 hours or 48 hours. But do you deny that he's been free for a year?
He's on bail. You can get a bail for them type of charges, brother. This is what I'm trying to understand to you. This is America. Once you get locked up, you can get either murders, you might not get a bail, 10 murders, serious robbery charges, but other charges like that, you can get a bail until you go to court. You still on bail. You got charged. He's still charged with the crime.
Yes, he's charged with the crime. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. He's charged. He's charged. Now, feel free, Bennett. Feel free. Feel free.
You all are saying, both of y'all saying valid things. Y'all both valid, but I think there's just a distinction. One way that things get dealt with is on a criminal level. Another way things get dealt with is on a civil level. Another way things get dealt with is within your own company or your own organization. Now, an organization doesn't have to silence a member because they've been convicted of anything. An organization can have a member be inactive and step down and follow certain kind of protocols just by being accused of such a nasty thing. It has no, and so that's what I think when we talk about what's the community going to do. Well, he's on TV. He's on YouTube, and right. in a reputable organization, in a reputable formation where you have people that take these kind of things seriously within their system, and that means their organization, within their environment, they would have him be silenced and discuss why, and he would step down and say, I have a charge. I'm not going to say anything until these charges. I'm not guilty of these charges, but until the matter is cleared up, I'm not going to harm the community by making this thing a part of it. But instead, what we have is like, hey, he can talk. He's just been accused of this. That's all. He can still talk. He's not guilty yet. But when you're being silenced, that's not about being guilty. That's about having more respect for the organization and knowing that this is just an individual. We don't know if this person is guilty. We don't know if they're innocent, but the charge is bad enough that we have to distance ourselves from it because we can't have that behavior no matter what. So I think that's where the problem is coming in with how the community receives polite. But you're right, brother. I mean, I don't know the brother in blue. I get
That
your
man
point. I mean,
crazy.
it's true. It's like, you know, there are some legal, there's the way that the law deals with it. And unfortunately, that's how they do it. If they got to have certain things to certain types of things help them keep him in, and other types of things help him get out. If you don't have certain things, he can get out, but it doesn't mean he's innocent. He's just out on bail, you know, got to come back to court. But I think also what you were saying, the brother in blue, I don't know your name. What's your name, brother?
Man, Chang.
Chang?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chang.
I think
C-I-H-I-C.
just like this Ching.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Son, that'll know because he blocked me and he got mad at me and tried to call the police on me and everything because I was going at them guys because of all the allegations. Polite came to Baltimore and scammed the woman out $4,500. The woman had to get put out of her house and everything, but he brought the money back. He been scamming that community for years. Son, that'll know about all of this, but some people just want to keep giving them breaks because it's YouTube. They want to come on here and go with the popularity route. They don't want to hear nothing. They probably say he lying, he a hater. But like, if that's what people want to do, that's them. I know the truth. I know all the stuff that's going on with them guys. They over there running. Why everybody that runs to them is either dealt with sex or kids. You got Nature Boy, Young Fergal, Polite, Shaka. You got Garfield over there scamming. Like, what more do people need? That's why we always getting hurt as a community and as black people, because we always just giving in and showing that we weak. Nobody don't fight against nothing.
Well, you know, Ching, you know, if anybody got scammed, you know, they are welcome to come here and make testimonies. You know what I'm saying? Now, it seems like for you, Polite is guilty and you have the right to your opinion. All I'm saying is the trial is in a few days and somebody is supposedly innocent until proven guilty, and let's see. And then if he's found guilty, then that's it. There's no more debate and discussion, and we'll see how far it goes.
Yeah, because in the streets, like what a man doing in a hotel room with a 14-year-old after hour when his mother is over in another room. He's telling them that
brother,
he coming in.
You know,
like,
brother,
come on,
I don't want to sound like I'm defending him, but those are reports that first were released by Tasha K.
No,
Some
it's on the report, brother. We got the report.
Yeah, but you know, brother, you know, one day they might accuse me, and I wish if I'm accused of something horrible like that, people at least wait for the trial, because people have been saying that there's some video footage that's actually might exonerate the dude, but we'll see. I'm not. It's only a few days to come, because at this point we have. Yeah.
I hear what the brother is getting at, because, and I hear what you're saying, Shaka, but I get what this brother is saying, because the problem is that what we hear of Polite right now in this trial and that last interaction with his relationship with this young girl, right? Where he got arrested for, that falls on the heels of all this other stuff. And what that comprises is issues like this other man in our community being convicted of raping a child, right, on two different levels. What type of rape charge it was, whether it was statutory rape or whether it was something else, I don't even care, right? But it's some form of it, right? Now, all these things have been happening in our community, and when you see it just happens frequently over and over again, your defense and your rejection of this behavior should get heightened. You should become more worried. We should be more tired of this. But instead, what's happening is we're being, you know, we have to wait. You know, we're being told we have to wait. But we don't on a civil level.
A few days, because you see, well, Garfield said he talked about a guy who was convicted. You know, so
but this thing about this thing about him being guilty or not, in terms of organization and in terms of the people you allow on your platform, a serious platform, that him being guilty or innocent has nothing to do with it. The charge itself is enough to act serious and silence this brother, to say no one can come on House of Consciousness platform. No one can speak that is going through anything like this, because first of all, it's not even just about protecting Polite. What about what about a House of Consciousness? Don't you want to protect your channel? Don't you
But
want to protect your father?
V. Bennett.
That was his choice. That was his choice. Go ahead, James Powell.
Yeah, I excuse me for pushing in here, man, but
No, sorry, brother. Sorry, you're right.
I'm hearing y'all go back and forth, and I'm checking my man out there in the blue with the blue hat on with the A on his head. Ching ching. I can't
Yes,
quite
sir.
see.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
What you saying, young man? It makes good sense, because what you really saying is you know these fellas, man. That's what I'm getting out of it. You know them, you seen them, you know what they've done in the past, and we keep giving them a pass, even though the law, in which the law is real tricky in this country, and it's really favorable for the criminal. That's what I've seen.
Yes, sir.
Just like the law is just like like they do the black man. We catch hell if we wrong or right. We gonna catch the hell for it. But you're saying it's time for us to put all these people in a corral or in a certain place and deal with them, so that we can eliminate their problem, so that it doesn't start to stack up and pile up. And I don't know about what you were saying about running to Sinetta's channel, and that's where all of them's going. But Sinetta do have he has a channel where he will let anybody come there, but I think that it shouldn't be showed favoritism towards people that are wrong. And I mentioned that to Side before. It's time for him. He's got to tighten up too, even though he's got the biggest channel on the YouTube. It's stuff that he's got to do right and by the people, because if not, he's gonna catch more flack like he's doing now with this supposedly Napah thing. And I'm gonna say one more thing on this Napah thing, and I'm gonna go back quiet and just listen to everybody. But you know, if Sinetta said Napah took this money, and you had a lot of people that paid for that debate, and you know what they said? I'm not gonna ask for my money back. You go ahead, Si, and you just keep it, and you know, you put it to good use. But if a woman gonna come along and take the money that all these people has paid for the debate and they donate it to that channel, and she takes it and leaves, and this is the way I'm seeing it. If I'm wrong, correct me. But she's got the money and she's doing what she want to do with it. That's a no-no, man. In my book, that's a no-no.
Yeah, it ain't like we coming up here making stuff up. These guys done said it out their mouth several times, even when they get mad at each other. Like when Son Netta got on this panel and said Shaka Utmost, he had a girl, then he was messing with the girl daughter, and then they bring these guys back on the play, like he playing people for stupid. It's like the audience aren't going to agree with everybody. Chat room is like their own cult. Everybody going to agree with the person that's channel is. They don't care what they do. And people steady getting hurt out here and hurt, like people might, he trolling. No, it's facts that the man got DNA evidence on the girl. It's not no trolling. Like that's why they look at black people as weak right now, because everybody taking everything as a joke, and everybody then when something really happened, they like, oh this, oh nah, man, that's crazy, man.
Well, you know, and I've let you make your points, and definitely I'm very interested in getting to the facts. So the court date, I don't know if it's early February or mid-February. I think I've heard 17 February, but it's definitely next month. So we will definitely get some clarity. But what I propose, brothers, is that, go ahead, Afimi Wonahun.
I just wanted to say that for me, it doesn't make a difference one way or the other what that verdict is going to be in that court case, because I remember seeing a video of I was never a fan of Polite or whatever. I remember seeing a video where he was talking to a man who said that he was molested by Dr. York when he was a child.
Yeah.
And I saw Polite say out of his own mouth that he didn't care how many children York molested, that he would still be his God.
Yeah, I played that a few days ago. I played that. Yes, indeed. The guy, I think one of his name is it Noble? But he's not anonymous. He says that he's been a victim of Dr. York, and he spoke on a few platforms. Now, brothers, what I propose that we do here is Top Flight Security says that Tazariak said it out of his own mouth, and we're talking about the guy who used to say stinking Africans being in jail for rape.
And he added that he knows the truth, which is why he support him. And here, Top Flight Security wrote it's on video. We have 156 people. I would like you, brothers and sisters, to send that video to me, and if possible, give me the timestamp. But at least send the video to me, and I would take the time to look for the timestamp. This is at this point an allegation, but apparently, Captain Tazayak would have said that he knows the truth about somebody in jail for rape, and that he supports him because he knows the truth. So possibly he feels like the guy is not really guilty,
or he feels like polite. He feels like even if he is guilty, that's still my man, and I'm gonna support him.
No, maybe, but I'm not gonna put that on him. I'm not gonna put that on him. You know. So please, we have 157 people right now. If you know about this, I didn't know about. I mean, you know, there's so many secrets in this conscious community. You know, and I'm not interested about people's personal lives or private life. If the guy's been charged, he's in jail, it means he went to court. And some of you may know the name of the person, and we can look up their names and see the criminal record. So, you know, that's what I would like to know about. And of course, Napah, Sanetta, anybody else is free. We have that money. People paid. I pay personally, and I'm not asking Sanetta to give the money back because the events took place. Garfield wasn't no show. Yes, people paid for the debate, but I don't think Sanetta should be held responsible if somebody didn't show up. You know, like I said, I've been at events, martial arts events. Sometimes they start 1, 2, 3 hours after the scheduled time, and sometimes people forfeit or people cannot make it for whatever reason. And some of the fights that we paid for, we did not see them. So if she went away with the money, Sanetta made that accusation publicly. So let's see. Now, feel free to continue, brothers.
Yeah, well, Napah made a video. She made a video last night saying that about something that I guess calling, got people calling and all this. Like, that's their little personal business. Like, I'm just talking about what these guys done over the years. These guys is they not for the people.
Hold on, brother. Here, maybe you're not aware. But
oh yeah, I seen that. That's old.
All right. So yeah. No, that's 1 week old, brother.
Yeah, but we've been on that. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I haven't been on that. You see, maybe you know some stuff we don't know. But for the record, Sanetta left that comment on the live stream of Killer Priest, which was a week ago. So I'm not, once again, I don't want people to misunderstand me. I'm not asking for the juicy stuff between Sanetta and Napah as a couple. I'm not asking about their relationship. I'm asking about the accusation of the money being stolen. That's what I'm asking about. And that accusation is fresh. It's just 1 week old. So yeah, so feel free to continue, brothers.
Yo, now I didn't want to cut the topic about the about pedophilia within this context is so important. What I'm about to say is off that topic, but I want to stay on the more important topic. But all I wanted to say about this thing about the stolen money and how the formation is so important to watch and study, and how people group up, right? And the bottom line here, how I look at it, because is just I'm an analytical type of person. I don't just walk into groups or walk in a room and not be able to try to identify what's going on, because I'm coming into that room. So when I watch things, especially organizations that I join or people I help, I watch how they move. And what I'm saying is that Martin Luther King, the people right next to him, they told you they were working for somebody else. Malcolm X, the people right next to him, there's somebody that wasn't necessarily what he thought. What I'm trying to say is that when you get in these situations, you don't necessarily know what you come up with, because different people have different motivations. That's all I want to say about this Sanetta, because I wouldn't, like they say, the one that wears the crown, it's heavy because you attract all kinds of stuff, and it looks to me like Sanetta trying to deal with a whole lot of different dynamics is going on. All kinds of stuff just happens all the time, But back to this this thing about pedophile. Listen, I don't want to say anything that I don't want to talk about any individual personally that I can't affirm myself, that I don't know myself. But generally speaking, what I have learned from listening to these types of people is that they literally have an issue with going into their religion and justifying the point of a woman being an adult and a point that you could touch her is being when she has her period. That's the sign. So a lot of these people, they're actually teaching this. Now, they may not teach it today, but they taught it 10 years ago, 20 years ago. They have all these excuses, and they're not the only ones. So society, in terms of this period thing, when a woman becomes an adult, that's an old, serious problem that we all society is still dealing with. What do you do when, and you're supposed to know the difference. But it's twisted because it's not only about the body, it's also about the mind. What man wants to match himself up with a person that has a 14, 13, 18-year-old mind? Who's doing this? So it says a lot about the individuals. You know, we got to examine how these persons move. And every move that they make, every choice that they make is a statement about their own motives, their own character. And that's enough. I mean, I believe, it's hard to say this, but I believe when you step back and you just listen to all these facts, the brother in the blue, how he described it, trafficking and things like this, is something serious going on there. But the problem is we ain't the police. I mean, they ain't gonna listen to me. All I can do is say it looks like something, beware. But you don't have to listen to that beware, you know?
Yeah, they gonna go with their favorite YouTuber. They ain't worrying about who getting scammed, what little kid out here getting hurt. They gonna come up with their little weirdo sayings. Oh, don't believe him, brother. Do this, do that. To try to throw the narrative off. But it been going on. Even if a man get on his panel and say it out his mouth himself that you scammed me, don't believe him. He took 10,000 from me. I know what's going on. Like, come on now. And people forget all about that just for some information. Bunch of weirdos out here, man. Bunch of guys that's just on the computer looking for some feel-good stories, and they ain't standing on man time. Something that they can't be outside standing next to a man in his face saying the words that they'll say on here. They just want to hide behind a computer and do little nasty and dirty things. Why you think the police catch the most weirdos on the computer messing with kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a fact, and that's what's going on in that conscious community. They chasing at the women, kids, and they chasing at the wrong ideology. They spinning narratives with people. Like, and that's what I stand on.
I appreciate you, brother, for your words.
I appreciate you too, brother. Appreciate you too, man. It's like if we don't talk about it, who they just going to keep spinning the narrative. I wouldn't even said nothing if the guys didn't come out their own mouth and tell on themselves. It would, like Chaka said, it wouldn't be none of our business. But it's on public platforms. The guys make videos and they get mad with each other. He called polite Dr. Baby Dr. York. I know what you be doing. Remember when you ran off with the kid? You stole money from here. You stole my money. Like, come on, man. Come on. That's too far right there.
Can't hear you, Shaka.
It's earpiece work. I mean, the brother down bottom, you seem like to know what's going on. Everybody else want to put a blind eye, make up stories. Oh, he ain't this. He ain't been convicted. He ain't this and that. If he was out here in the street somewhere, he'd be up under somebody's stuff. He, like, men don't, that's what black men protected the neighborhoods with, pedophiles, people messing with old people. Like, come on, you stand on morals and principles. Just because somebody got 100,000 subscribers, that don't mean nothing. Half of them bots anyway. They not even real people.
Facts. Exactly. You know, that's a good point you raised. True, man. They using bots. I mean, you know, but, and also, you know, this is New York City, man. This is the urban city. This is the United States of America. We have problems like this. You know, these are problems in any community. Any community is supposed to be concerned about that. But the thing about it is that a lot of society does talk about these things today. A lot of society has implemented some protocols, just like sexual harassment. You can't say anything you want to a woman at work or a man, or you can't even do, there's not too much you have the right to really do, you know, without there being some, you putting yourself at risk of maybe civil action or being silenced or somehow temporarily punished by the company you work for. You know, there's behavioral standards that go in play, but in the conscious community, we're not applying these standards. None of them.
But
you know, we're going, or we're
can you
late
hear me
with
now?
the standards or something.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No, you can. Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I had to step out for like 5 minutes or so. After I last spoke, you know, I had to collect my daughter from the neighbor. So I didn't hear how to catch the replay. But we now have Radio One. Feel free to speak, brother. Radio One.
Yes, peace, brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, brother. We can hear you. Feel free to speak, brother.
Yes. Peace, brother Shaka. Peace to the panel. Peace to everybody. Peace, V Bennett. Yeah, peace, brother Ching, brother Afimi. Yeah, peace. Yeah. I see the title, and you know, I can't say too much about the subject because you know I don't, you know, I'm not involved with that circle, and I don't know what's going on with that situation. So, yeah, but I will say this, you know, as someone who was watching Sarnetta for a while, you know, now, first of all, if these guys are guilty of doing these things, such as pedophilia, rape, you know, and scamming, I mean, they have no business teaching history. I mean, because I would not want my kids. Yeah, I would not want my kids, you know, to listen to someone guilty of those crimes teaching history. Because if you're that type of person, you know, that means you're a messed up person. And you know, and pretty much anything you say is anything that comes out of your mouth is 9 times out of 10 gonna be a lie. You know, and yeah, and you know, and it's a lot of, I mean, people can say, you know, this was made up, that's made up, but man, people are not going to just say these things for nothing. I mean, just imagine, you know, you just sitting there chilling, you know, I'm Radio One, you know, I'm just a small YouTuber, you know, and you know, with 3,000 subscribers, and hardly nobody knows me, and all of a sudden somebody just come out, Radio One is convicted or accused of rape and pedophilia, and like, you know, and like and I know deep down in my heart I never did anything like this, so I'll be like, what the hell, you know, but you know, but that never happened, you know, you know, but you know,
And that's not even what happened. That's not even what happened.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem. It's all the initial, each piece of thing that they come up with is part of the allegation. So a person says it happened to a young girl, it's the daughter of the lady he's with. Then the next thing is people follow up and they say, oh, well, the police say they found this on the girl's shirt. Okay, then you got another piece of evidence. It doesn't matter if he did it, just the preponderance of allegations of things that's pointing to him, that is just that's enough right there.
Well, you know, brothers, the case is in a few days. We've heard many allegations.
Sorry to cut you off, Radio One.
Yeah, we have many allegations, and I think we're gonna know what were allegations, what were facts. So keep continuing, you know. But and I've let people spoke. I don't want people to be like, oh, Shaka didn't want us to talk about this, you know. But maybe if we can also try to talk about this accusation of the money being stolen, but you're still free to talk about everything you want. But Polite's trial is in a few days, and maybe somebody in the chat can put the actual date. So feel free, Radio One.
Yeah, you know, and also, you know, I feel if Sarnetta had not had this fallout with Sarwa Sudenseti and young Pharaoh like he did, and all these scammers and all these fakers and frauds came along, I believe, like, if that relationship had not got ruined, Sarnetta would probably have millions of subscribers by now. You know, and and like, yeah, and when people saw that, you know, they pulled out. They got out. You know, and that's why, you know, his following failed. because of serious accusations, serious charges like that, like pedophilia, rape. I mean, people don't want to be associated with that. And like in some of like the behavior of some of these guys, man. I mean, like brother Reggie, for instance, man. Like this guy. I mean, this guy. I heard him on Sonetta platform saying, when somebody else want to speak, and he comes in and say, "Well, Sonetta, let me speak. I'm brother Reggie." What is that? I mean, these guys try to come on people's platform and try to act like that they deserve some type of celebrity status.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't see how nobody believe it, because it's called, if anybody know about the streets, it's called New York Babylon. All that information that they saying is mixed up lies, mixed up truth that they done took from these Dr. York doctrines. All these people from New York, that's what they do out on 125th Street. They scamming, they using out before all that, son, that and the dudes was out there, they was selling scalping tickets. That's their hustle in New York. So they came on the internet with it and got the whole conscious community believing all these false stories and all these fairy tales, and people just bought into it. Like, and that's what it is. Like, people don't want to believe it, but it's the truth. Like, and it is what it is.
Yo, Ching, have you heard about the Mighty Hebrew being convicted at least twice for sexual misconduct against a minor? Do we have any report from that? Is there any record for that? That court record or jail record?
I gotta look into it. I gotta look into it because I heard about it when I first started with these guys. Because I was with the Baltimore guys when we went up to Sonetta event when Tommy Sotomayor got smacked. One of my homeboys in the group had did that.
That was wrong, but continue.
Yeah, but Sonetta was in the back calling the police on the guys who did it. He was telling them what happened, and like he played the fence. He liked to play. Oh, he apologized, brother this, brother that. Then he'd come right behind your back and do some snake stuff. Like, that guy's a snake. I don't want nobody on here to feel how I feel, but I would never deal with that guy. That guy's a total snake, and he would take everything from you and wouldn't even care.
Yeah, but I think it was wrong to hit the guy, because he's obviously a guy who's not into the conscious community. He's been spoken out very badly against black people, particularly black women, before him to come. Yeah, and we've seen that for years. He's known for that. But for him to come in that type of event and receiving that treatment, I think he was ashamed, because he could have changed his mind a little bit, but what's done is done, you know what I'm saying? But and Nasi Yashuvel, have you heard about that? Like, is it an allegation or has he been convicted?
Yeah, I heard about that too. Like, some of these guys, you gotta believe it, Shaka.
I mean, I don't want to believe it just because somebody said it. You know, in America,
look at the action of these guys. Like, it ain't like these guys are alleged to building buildings. Now, if some of these guys was alleged to building buildings, children's centers, or doing something good that we can see with our eyes, but all we seeing is allegations with this, allegations with that. Come on, that's common sense.
No, I wouldn't say that, brother. I'm sorry. If somebody went to court and was sentenced, well, brother, no matter where I'm from, like, I think we both agree that if somebody was charged for something and he went to prison for it, there is a trace somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm talking about all the allegations that's on these one group of people that's online. Like, if you keep saying all bad and nothing good coming out of it, what's that's going to tell you? That's like if you a female, you just see it keep cheating and cheating, and she ain't.
I understand, but there might be some bad stuff, there might be some scamming, some stealing, but somebody going to jail for rape, there has to be a record somewhere, But we have Uncle Majed who has joined us, so feel free to speak, brother.
Yeah, well, I don't really like to get into the rape thing and the this and the that, I mean, like, when the polite thing came out, Sonetta come out hard against him, brother Garfield say he never having him on his platform. And even the brother who I see in your chat, brother Zion Lex, was going hard against him. But all of a sudden he get quiet and mute on the issue. So then that lead me to believe that it have information that we're not privy to. Because if it is that he could dial back on his whole, he was going real hard and thing and featuring Tasha K and all of these kind of people, and then now we don't hear nothing. We don't even hear people out Tasha K or Zion Lex, so none of the people that was basically the primary antagonist to that situation, you know what I mean? And then also, I also observed that the brother have wives and family and thing. We never see nothing come out with his wife and them leave him or anything like that. So I feel like if it have certain information that we not privy to, that that not making it so black and white as about if the brother guilty or whatever it is, you know.
Well, if somebody wants to add
Right.
on, feel free. Now in the
You
chat, I
know,
made
I
the
think
chat members only. Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I think overall, I agree with your statement, brother, 100%. But I think overall, what we're seeing here is another added layer, another added problem on top of this, and that is these. If you just think about it, all these things, the thing about the event, selling tickets, somebody run away with the money, these kind of antics are at some point you have to say these are basic organizational problems and antics that they're just not solving. You can't have something like selling tickets go wrong over and over and over. I mean, come on, at some point you're doing something wrong. That's why it's happening. Now, also the thing about addressing these kind of behaviors, when you hear an allegation, it doesn't matter what the allegation is. If, let's say me and you are in the same organization, or let's say all of us are in the same organization. Let's say one of us is the chair, another is the vice chair. Well, there's protocols about how you deal with behavioral issues and issues in general that come up, how you have to deal with it when it comes up, no matter who it is, right? In an organization, you would say, okay, this person just got alleged, a woman just alleged that this person raped their child, right? Or are their child, right? Then you say, okay, a member says this. Okay, how do we deal with this? All right, we have to assign a person responsible to go in private and discuss this matter and find out if there's anything else there, if it's criminal or not, because you have an obligation yourself in a organization to say, whoa, if I encounter criminality, something has to be done about it. It has to be addressed. Now, you could say, you go talk to this woman and you find out more, right? More evidence is coming up. Then she says, oh, well, no, because I got the underwear and there was semen, there was S on the underwear. Okay, you have the underwear. You saying you have the underwear, sister? Yes. Then you ask more questions. See, when you start, it's not, you haven't even reached the point of knowing if you did it yet. But the problem is that if there's so many signs that there's a huge probability that this person could actually have been guilty, now you're in another situation, because now what you're saying is that, aha, there could be a person among us that's doing this to others too. And people don't generally speak out openly about it. So when you're dealing with this kind of misconduct, this type of deviancy, it brings all kinds of problems to the table that you got to be in a real organization. You got to be ready to check them. You got to be ready to take it serious. So the question becomes,
sorry, my brother, as soon as you're done, I'd like to ask Olek or something. Or
go ahead, ask me. I think I was illustrating my point. Go ahead.
Hold on, just 1 second, brother Uncle Majed. I want to acknowledge the presence of Zion Lex, who wrote, "Hey, Smash, you let Jabari say that Kemet was a civilization in 17,000 BCE. I'm coming for you, fam, law." Zion Lex, I saw you talking about Polite. Polite hasn't been convicted yet, but I'm sure you heard the clip, and in case you haven't heard it, I'm going to play it now.
Since I've been a part of this conscious community, sexual misconduct has been condemned and vilified almost unanimously. We saw the rise and fall of Dr. York. We had Hebrew Israelite, the brother by the name of Mighty Hebrew. He was convicted, I think, twice for sexual behavior against minors. He was widely condemned by the Hebrew Israelite community,
Cannot hear anything, Shaka.
Forgiven by the Israelites, because I see him all over the place right now on everybody's channel. Another brother by the name of Nazi Yashavel, another Israelite, also involved in sexual misconduct with a minor. We have no idea where this brother is, but he's been sheltered somewhere by an Israelite group.
So, Uncle Majed, you're free to go, but Zion Lex, you heard that. You had Mighty Hebrew on your channel, so you're listening Polite. Polite hasn't been charged, but Garfield said that Mighty Hebrew has been convicted at least twice. So that's just for the record. And finally, Nyame is not Yahweh. Go ahead and come out, Jet. Feel free.
Yeah, man. So earlier I think I heard one of the people who are on the panel here was talking about the age of sexual consent, right? And saying that, I don't know if it's the brother named Ching Ching.
Yeah, it's me, V Bennett.
V Bennett, you was talking about the age of consent. But what I'm saying is, we have to try to understand who defining things and what really happening, you know, because I don't even know if any of us here know what year that the age of sexual consent was instituted as being 18. Possibly in most lands we hear it as 18. You know what I mean? But then what happened now? Even to drink alcohol in America, you had to be 21 years old, I believe. And something like so that come like you can make children before you can make a decision to take a drink of alcohol. And another thing, it come like in indigenous cultures or in certain non-European cultures, what was considered the age of womanhood and maturation? Because somebody was basically saying that the biological indication of maturity of the period and the ovulation, they saying according to our human societal to our liking, then that it come like our sensibilities make us put that beyond the age of when your biology say that it is possible, and we brought it to a social standard of 18. I want to know if the brothers on the panel agree with the age of 18, if it should be younger, if it should be older, and what is the basis of placing it arbitrarily at 18.
Oh, hold on, brother. I don't know if I don't know if you should have that discussion. I mean, legally, the age of consent is 18. I think in England it's 16 to
It
have
differs.
sex, and yeah,
It
it
differs.
differs. And in some states
And
it
the
might be
punishment does
21,
too.
but yeah, but now in England, they have the 16 for sexual relations. But really, I mean, it's up to you, brothers. I mean, if some brothers want to, touch on that.
Bro, if you in your 40s, then my bad, brother, and near your 50s, and you want to mess with somebody that's 19, 8, something got to be wrong with you, bro.
Exactly.
Like, I don't care what the age is. If you're 40 and you thinking about a teenager or somebody in their 20s, you're a weirdo, bro. Something got to be wrong with you. And where I come from, we will deal with you instantly. Like, that's a no-no. Like, what is wrong with people?
And
I don't care what country. Nobody should be messing with no kids.
So
and here's the thing.
What age would you say is consentable?
Well, it's not. I don't. Consent is a legal thing. That's a legal thing. It can be your age. How it really plays out in the countries around the world and in the U.S. in different states is the age is different of consent, but that's a legal thing. But we can't. That's not what this brother is illustrating. What he's talking about in the blue, he's saying even if it's not a crime, it's still something strangely off when a 40-year-old man is going around looking for a virgin, looking for a 19-year-old, looking for there's something wrong because this person's mind, your mind. One person has power by experience of life on earth and could use and the other person is innocent and just starting to be an adult. So, but I agree with Shaka. It's complicated because there's so much to go into that. But here's the thing. When it comes to these groups, we got to be clear. There's many groups that have called themselves or hidden themselves under the guise of religions that have had persons in their higher ups be prosecuted of rape. And that's not a new thing in our community. This goes back, and it's not just rape, that the criminal activity that can be found in different organizations, man. There's serious things. I mean, that's why I think Shaka's right when he say it's difficult to talk about, because there's so much that we could talk about that's not even being talked about in terms of what has been going on. We need to look at that as a community and get real about it. And we need to have these conversations. But in one time, in an hour, Nah, we need to have 8 hours on this because there's a whole history and legacy of people. You know, you could see if you talk about one, you pick one person's leader, Dr. York, you pick them, you could see how hard people are going to try to defend that. People will make up any kind of stories about that, even though they have witnesses that will tell you flat out they were victims, right? But there's more. That's the problem. And so when you have a community that has that recognizes, yes, we do have this problem. Black community ain't no different than other communities. You think pedophilia is a problem for just Black people? It's a problem for the whole community. The difference is, does our community take it serious? If other communities take it serious, that's putting them ahead of the problem. That means they're dealing with the problem. That means they're protecting their community members. When we don't take it serious, it means we're not protecting our community members. It means we're not thriving anymore. And I think that's the overall issue we're having. We don't want to confront our problems. You know, we don't want to keep them real. But again, the age of consent, I don't know if that's really much of a important thing. The law is the law. You go to Georgia and the age of consent is different down there than it is in New York. You pay the law. You pay the price because they established something. They didn't just make it up overnight. They have reasons why they made the law that way. You go to New York and you get charged with this kind of thing. Doesn't matter what the age is. You did break the law. But in any case, we're talking about who these people we're talking about. Everybody's 18 and under. No, everybody's not even. Yeah, everyone's 18 and under. Everybody. I'm 52 years old. It's
Yeah,
just weird.
I agree. You know, we should go by what the law of the land says. You know, now, it's funny. I have 175 people. I didn't get a single donation ever since I started this live stream, and nobody. Come again?
I said they want that tea. Nobody don't want to be taught. The YouTube is for entertainment. People want to be nosy, and people want to see what's somebody else's dirt. They want to see what's going on. That's what YouTube is for. These people, you'll teach about a book or something. You'll have 5 people in here or try to, you know what I mean, do this and that. It don't work like that with this entertainment situation. But something like this that need to be talked about, people will try to flip it, like you said. Oh, he didn't. How you know he did this? How you? Because they saying it out their mouth, and we got paperwork that they've been charged with it. That's how we saying it out. If they wouldn't have saying it out their mouth, we wouldn't even be saying it.
I want to see the paperwork. Indeed, I like records. I always like records for the past and the present as well. But for those who don't know, the chat is only for supporters, and I've shared the link. It's only $3. Yeah, it's only $3.
Can I say one thing about
feel free.
one thing that something popped in my head that speaks to my brother's question too. Let's think about this. This is the context. If you want to go out and drink in a city like Washington, D.C., I don't know what the age group is today, but the age limit would be 21. If you're under 21, they would say no, right? But listen, the idea of why is because your body's not fully developed, right? So the alcohol stops your body from developing, and your body is your brain too, right? But here's the thing. They found out later biologically that men don't develop fully. Their brain don't even develop fully until they're 25, 27. Right. You see what I'm saying? So 18 is not really, if we're talking about when your body is fully developed, meaning every part of your body, including your brain, we way off with these numbers now. So you would expect a person that's my age, a person that's 40 or 30 or learning, to understand, whoa, the lower you go down in age, the closer you're getting to a person who is not fully developed. Not just physically, but mentally too. And so the moment you understand that, you could be taking advantage of your power. You're fully developed. You should know better. This other person isn't. You should be expressing caution towards that person. But instead, when you got predators, they throw caution to the wind. They're like, give it to me. Perfect. I got a victim. This person don't understand. They're not smart enough. They haven't learned on Earth long. They haven't experienced enough on Earth to even know what I am about to do with them. And then even worse, their own brain is not fully developed either. So how would they know? So I think there's a lot of issues here we could look into. It only makes us better. And I'm not saying this to condemn anybody, because it's not, the condemnations aren't as important as the reckoning the community has as a whole. It's only going to make us better.
Let me just say that the top flight security, I was looking for his message, but he did say that he will look for the video. He said that a woman, a sister, confronted Tazariak about the situation. So no, no, mais j'aime pas ça. So he said that he will look for the video. If anybody is aware of that video where Captain Tazariak was confronted about this guy who used to label Africans as taking Africans being in jail for rape, then let me know. If we can
Do they got a
try.
video of him or a picture? What does he look like? I mean,
Oh, we've seen it. I've seen the guy. I mean, but I'm really interested in whether I mean, yeah, the charge, But basically, the brother wrote that there's a video of a woman confronting Captain Tazariak about that guy who was in jail, who is in jail for rape, allegedly. So he said he's
mm,
gonna look for the video. Now we have 177 people online, and nobody's aware of the. Okay. So basically, to make the long story short, Senator publicly accused Napah of stealing the money. People say that Napah has not addressed it. Somebody in the chat said that Napah is accusing Senator of stalking her. A lot of times females say that when they break up. So so far, what we get is that Senator publicly accused Napah of stealing the money of the debate. We now have 180 people, and Napah has not addressed it. I find it strange that Napah has not addressed it. It doesn't mean that she is guilty of this accusation. But for the record, I'm not interested in their past relationship, how many times they kiss or anything like that. I'm interested with accusation that Senator made publicly. We spoke about many different things as well. And I think that soon I'm going to call it a day. Now, Ching, a person in the chat kept asking, what you went to jail for. I'm not concerned of that. If you want to speak on that, you're free, but it's not an obligation. But it looks like we
Oh,
have
yeah,
camps.
I was pushing mad narcotics, punch my people name up at Peanut King in Baltimore, Maryland. You can Google me. I don't got nothing to hide. I just come home from the feds. And a lot of stuff that these guys talking about, when we was on our bus trip to the feds, and when the CO said, if you got pedophile charges, or you mess with any kids, please step to the left because you can't get off at this prison because you will die on that courtyard. Yeah. And that's damn near half the bus. Damn near half the bus was on the left side, and I seen guys in the courtyard, throat slit from head to head for pedophile charges. You don't walk the yard with pedophile allegations or charges. It don't fly. Like it's simple as that. Like,
do you know? Do you know Nechaneb?
Huh?
Do you know Nechaneb?
No, I don't know Nechaneb. Where you from?
He's from Baltimore. Well, maybe you know his government name, but KD Hartley, I'm saying it because he's public. He published papers, but he's been doing some martial arts. He's studying linguistics formally. He's acquainted with Rikedi Amen. He's been studying the Mednecha as well, and yeah. So, do you know?
No, I became conscious when I was locked.
You and Shaka and Dugo, you and Netaneb share plenty characteristics, You know that.
Yeah, I became conscious when I was locked up, and I seen a lot of these guys coming in here with fences against old people, women, and children, and they was dead on the yard, flying helicopter, come land in the yard, take them out. And when I came home, I got my mind a little straight because I was rolling with bad guys, like really, yeah.
But do you know Unc is from Baltimore?
Yeah, I know Unky from Hilltop Park Heights. Yeah, Unc he know about me. I talked to Unc. And
how do you feel about Unc telling Sekou, take your ass back to Africa?
Unc a sellout. He moved to Atlanta. He ain't the same. He's a different dude. I already talked to him about rolling with that conscious community because there's a lot of dudes that was in prison calling home, asking what's up with this dude because they didn't like how he was rolling. He ain't rolling like a man. But so a lot of them don't appreciate what he doing, but I guess he got a narrative or something that it's got to be something they doing this for because it don't make sense.
Are you a Hebrew Israelite, brother?
Huh?
Are you a Hebrew Israelite?
No, I ain't nothing. I never been in no group, never in my life.
All right.
But you know what?
Yeah.
But you know what? I like his background because the reality of it is that you learn when you in the pen. I haven't been in the pen, but I got homies that's been in the pen, and they very sharp. particularly with this kind of stuff. You know, they were used to watching every little detail and being prepared for some type of bad action, attack, scam, manipulation, particularly the manipulative stuff. So
Man,
I like your background on that. You know what I'm saying? You see
that's
what
all
it,
you.
I see it too.
I appreciate that, brother, because that's all you see going on in there. A brother, they call it baking you a cake. A mother going to bake you a cake. They know how to set people up, not to scam you. That's the same thing I'm seeing what's going on this internet. Like, son, I didn't know who I am. He told me he's going to call the police on me, all that, because I was going at them with facts. I'm saying facts, but you keep saying I'm hating and I'm lying. Like, ain't nobody, nigga, I done seen money. It went through money like that. That famous stuff don't mean nothing to me. I stand on morals and principles. All that stuff don't mean nothing. Y'all just don't know how to be straight up and tell people what it is.
You should do something with that knowledge professionally, you know, or maybe education or anything.
It's hard to build up people on the internet, people you never met and you don't know, and people in the chat that's bots. I build up people that I know that's close to me and dealing with my own, you feel me, area where I'm from. You can't change nobody on the internet. That's really hard to do. I haven't really seen nobody do that yet.
No, you mustn't underestimate the internet and the capabilities, you know, because simple as how this brother, we on this man platform right now, and we don't know he from nowhere really, you know what I mean? And we following along with the conversation, and it does really have a ripple effect. It is metastasize into society. What we talking about here? Everybody go and go. Who part of this conversation go and take it and go where they going, and they going and augment how they functioning in society. You understand? So that's why I just take it more
people
serious.
hearing you.
I just take it serious. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people they just talk flippantly and careless on the internet, and I think it's quite destructive. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It could actually result in lives being lost and bloodshed. The things what you're saying on top of the internet here, you know? So
The internet is the con man's dream. You can. There's so many scams going on the internet. That's just like when Polite went up to the cargo miniums. He was acting like he was selling them cargo houses. He went on to people property and had people talking about come up here for jobs, come up here for this. He put the suit on. He was on the crane banging, and he had people sending them money. Like, come on, you guys don't see this. I see a lot of them white Italian men was coming in the Fed joint. They was doing a lot of scams. They taught me they doing the pyramid scams and all that. I was like, wow, I didn't even know this stuff was going on out here. Like, it's crazy.
I think we have to take away the personality, and we have to try to take your personality out it and deal with the information. You know what I mean? Now, and there's even a critique what I have from my good brother Shaka Indugu here. I think he is inject a lot of your personality and thing into the conversation and into things, and then it might end up lead you down certain rabbit holes, but really not necessary to go.
I don't understand, brother, but feel free. Just try to, elaborate what you mean. Like you say, I'm taking my personality and putting it on people. Can you just clarify, please?
All right, I can clarify easily. Like the other day when I voiced my opinion saying I appreciate somebody work sorry, Hotep, you immediately got vexed. You actually removed me off your panel and certain thing. And some of this behavior.
Hold on, brother. Please. That's not what happened. We spoke about the guy. I explained why he's a fraud, because he plagiarized. He called Dr. Diop irresponsible. He said that Dr. Diop guessed. We spoke for a while. Then at one point, you and the other brother, African Renaissance TV, were both speaking. So indeed, I put both of you on the panel. But of the panel, but you were still there. And eventually, I've put African Renaissance TV back. But obviously, you don't have a problem with people stealing people's work. You don't have a problem with plagiarizing. And I do have a problem with plagiarizing. So that's a fraudulent activity to me. And I'm not asking you to criticize Asar. You have the right to like him. But personally, I don't accept people who lie. And on top of that, disrespect Diop. But feel free to continue, brother.
All right. So even that thing, disrespect Diop, it come like that come like hero worship, because Diop is a man. We could criticize Diop. Diop had a white wife. He had various other things, but let me say could be put
Hold on,
under
hold on. If you don't mind, brother, if you don't mind, I mean, Karenga has a white wife, and everybody's defending him, even though he tortured a black woman, and he also plagiarized the Jewish holiday Hanukkah. But there's no hero worship with Diop.
I know, but
No, hold
okay.
on. Assad said that Diop was irresponsible, and that
Let me get
Diop
a
guessed.
sentence in. Let me
That's
get a
not
sentence.
disrespectful to you?
Let me get a sentence in, right? Because this is, you're getting a little flustered. Like, this is what happened last time, if you ask me. Because what happened now, when you brought up how Asari Motep disrespect Diop and Ray, he did say that Diop didn't what he really said is that Diop did not use the current historical linguistic methodology to combine some of his assertions. That is what he said, you know what I mean? And that
but hold on, brother. I
verify
just want to address that point. Now, Diop, I think he died in the 80s. So how can Diop use the current linguistic methodology? This is a weak talking point. He died in 1986. How could he possibly use nowadays method? Now, I don't mind if he says that he was inaccurate or wrong in some respect in scholarship, but Asari Motep doesn't have a single degree in linguistics. He's not in a position to say who did some good or bad work in linguistics. And besides, to say that Diop is wrong is one thing. But when he said that Diop guessed, and we're talking about the wall of language, this is, and I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm just asking you a question.
I'm listening in, man.
The Wolof is Diop's native language, or one of his native language. And Assad said that Diop guessed, and that Diop was irresponsible as a scholar. So to you, that's not disrespectful?
I could understand where you're construing it to be disrespectful, but you don't know, it's a lot of talk, a lot of rhetoric going on. But the gist and the real crux of the whole point, what he's saying, is that the methodology by which he came upon some of his assertions, it probably wasn't as rigorous as how we would like it to be. Okay, so I don't think that's
great. I get it, and I heard you. Now you say it was not as rigorous, but when Assad says that Diop was irresponsible as a scholar, to you that's not disrespectful?
I will say yes, right? I would say yes, but what I'm saying is,
so we're both in agreement then.
All right, no, well, I could say you could be irresponsible. That don't mean to be a disrespect. If somebody says something, right, make an assertion, and then if they become to get critiqued on it, and then they don't have all of the supporting evidence, then you could say that they were irresponsible in making an assertion. So I don't think it's a disrespectful thing.
Have you heard Assad talking about Dr. Obadele Campbell and saying that Campbell was like somebody talking ish in the barbershop, and he said that Campbell's critique comes up as complaining, and it's like a woman venting after her day at the job. Have you heard him say that? Because I can play it.
Yes, I've heard him say that.
All right, so isn't that disrespectful?
Okay, but all right. So here what I'm saying. Let me frame something for you, right? So you calling, let's say, people out of their names, is this disrespectful?
Well, you can say that me giving nicknames is disrespectful, but then again, he said that we have comprehension issues, that we don't know how to read, that we don't read, so it's only fair game. But then again, you know, just for the record, people may not know, it's only about 1 minute long. I want people to know what we're talking about so they understand how we talk about a black scholar.
Cambone is not in conversation with the authors of the text. It's not like he is you know, trying to teach them how to improve. It's like he's at the overall tone of the text is like he's at a barbershop and he's just shooting the ish with some friends and on how he don't like so and so and how this text is bullshit, basically. Right? He's not having a conversation with Professor Kwame Osei or Salim Faraji or Jahi Issa. It's not in the tone of a dialogue. And because of that, that's why he doesn't, you know, it just comes off as just complaining or like a woman venting about her day at the job.
So the comparison with a woman venting about her day at the job, isn't that disrespectful to you?
Well, that's if you're still in the mindset of thinking like a woman is a lower character. It's a woman who you just deal with would say, how is that this to say that you're moving like a woman? You understand what I'm saying? But because it's
But hold
known
on, hold on. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Now, you've heard what Assad said about Dr. Obadile Campbell, PhD in linguistics. And Assad doesn't have a degree in linguistics.
He say he being
But
catty.
come again?
He's trying to say that he being a little catty in his
Okay, well, my question to you now, I mean, whether it's being catty or anything, now that's not disrespectful to you.
Yeah,
I mean, it's yes or no. I mean, you have the right to say no. You know, it's fine. You're free to speak.
No, well, if somebody told me that I'm moving, so I would take it as a diss or so, and I would probably want to respond to them. Yeah.
So, just to make sure I understand your question now, to you, and you have the right to say yes or no. Was that disrespectful? Yes or no?
Yes, it would be disrespectful. Yes, but what I'm like, all right.
I mean, you said it would be disrespectful. I'm really asking you, was that disrespectful to you? You know, you have the right to say yes or no.
No, to me, this is what I'm showing you. So to me personally, it's not disrespectful to me. That's what I'm saying. So it come like what you doing is taking up offense on behalf of people. So if Dr. Obadile Campbell didn't see fit to make a scene about what Arsar say about him, who is Shaka Ndugu Kemet to take up the beef now and then come to try to defend himself?
Brother,
like,
it's not the beef, but you know what's interesting is that when I give him the nickname Asar Himofek, you take issue at that. But when Asar compares a PhD to a woman, you don't take issues at that. Don't you see a double standard there?
Well, first of all, they're saying a PhD to a woman. Well, it have PhD woman. What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
No,
So it
no,
come like
no, hold on. Hold on. Why I say PhD is because Dr. Obadile Campbell is a PhD in linguistics.
Yeah.
So we have an amateur called Osar who's critiquing an expert or a specialist, let's say, who has a PhD in linguistics. So even if he didn't have the PhD, but he has that title, he earned it. You know, he's a professor at the University of Ghana, as you probably know. So to me, and you know, I see a double standard, you know. But we can move on because I don't want to, you know, act like I'm just, you know, I don't want you to say what I want to hear. I want you to say what you feel like. But we've heard Asar saying on tape that he's an anthropological linguist. Knowing that he doesn't have a single degree in linguistics, don't you see that as a fraud?
Me personally, no.
That's fine. Now, let me say, okay, the skill set. Now, let's say I read a book or a few books about medicine, and then I say I'm a medical doctor. Wouldn't you say it's fraudulent for me to claim that?
Well, you didn't go through the matriculation, but if it is that you understand the theory and the practice and you could implement it, then you would become a medical doctor. And my father is a medical doctor, my sister is a medical doctor, so that's not no big. It's not no big like overwhelming thing for me to see that somebody could become a doctor easily. You know what I mean? You could.
Well, it's not easy to become a doctor, brother. You have to go to the formal training and get the credential. You need to get the degrees.
Well, of course, you will need to pass through the matriculation and the course requirements and what the
all right, but Asar has not gone through all that to claim that he's a linguist. So why is it okay for Asar to claim that he's an anthropological linguist, even though he doesn't have a single degree in linguistics, and why it would not be okay for me to claim that why it would not be okay for me to claim that I'm a medical doctor just because I read some books about linguistics? You see, I mean, I'm trying to understand.
Okay, what we're really talking about is the syllabus and the curriculum, right? So it have, let's say, if I'm a doctor in the American system, I cannot come and practice in the UK system. I would become irrelevant. You literally can't practice, you know what I'm saying? Because they have different systems and what you might be, the requirements to become an MD in America, it might be less rigorous than the English system of medicine, and they carry different names, and sometimes they use different measurement system.
Brother, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but here you're making comparison between qualifications in different countries. Asar Himotep doesn't have a single degree in linguistics, yet he claims to be a linguist, not only just a linguist, but an anthropological linguist. So I'm trying to understand how it is not fraudulent for him to claim a title that he has not earned. Because if it's not fraudulent, then I can claim to be a medical doctor as well. Now, no
All
hospital
right.
will let me
Let
practice.
me
Yes, feel free,
let me
feel free.
feel free. I'll feel free. One look a simple case for us to bring up, Shaka. I believe you consider yourself a Medunecha teacher, right?
I
And
give Medunacha classes indeed.
you offer classes as such, and then the proof in the pudding would be, are you proficient in Medunecha? Do your students learn something from you when they come to your class, or are you just parroting where you could read off of Wikipedia or something like that? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't know if you've been formally trained in linguistics or Medunecha, but you within yourself realize you have the skill set and you have reached a certain level of proficiency so that you could market yourself as such.
Well, brother, there's no degree of Meduneta teacher or hieroglyphic teacher. That doesn't exist, you see. Now, I'm not claiming to be an Egyptologist, and I never claimed once to be an Egyptologist, you see. So that's the difference. Now, linguist is a title. There's degrees for that. So somebody can go through the formal training and become a linguist. There's different variations or let's say fields of linguistics, you know. But once again, the guy doesn't have a single degree in linguistics, yet he publicly claims to be a linguist.
All right,
You know?
so that's what I'm saying. Current and in the same way, which institution has validated you and give you the credentials to go forth in the earth and present yourself as a Medunecha teacher?
You know what's funny is that you project that to me, but then again, I did not claim to be an Egyptologist, and there's
I'm not
no
saying Egyptologist. I'm saying a Medunecha teacher.
well, but what okay, I can answer you, but when I'm asking you a question, you're answering by another question. Now, can we deal with Osai Motep and then we can deal with me? Now, Osai Motep, once again, he said that he's an anthropological linguist, yet he doesn't have a single degree in that field. So so to you is not, how come it's not fraudulent to you?
That's because I don't put everything into what degree I have. You know, I mean, I deal with competency and understand that certain people, especially in our community, we are resource limited, certain time limited, whole heap of things. So I still willing to accept. Like, I would listen to you, I would defer to you on certain things concerning the Medunecha language and whatnot. Even though I can do my own studies, and I do my own studies.
I understand. So basically, you accept him claiming that title based on his knowledge in the area, right?
Yes, because what happened now? I've watched several of his videos and followed along with his things, right? And I could use common sense and logic and whatnot to see it have value in many of his presentations. And I think it's universal now because he does present in certain conferences, XYZ. I know you say that. Hold on.
You know that I think that's where he tricked you. I think that's where he tricked you. Now, you know, the Ethiopian Institute did not have him speaking.
Right. I
because
heard you say that.
I'm just I mean, you know, listen, brother. He spoke at certain conferences. He even spoke at ASCAC, you know, which is probably the top stuff that he has done. He did not speak as a linguist. You understand what I'm saying? And so if somebody reads some books about chemistry and he says, I'm a chemist, so obviously it means that you will also accept it based on the knowledge that he has, right?
I'm in a university system and I understand the difference between the qualification and not having it. It's just a matter of passing the examinations. You understand? And so some people might pass examination and they don't have a proper control and understanding of the information. They might just be able to parrot something and fill out a script. You understand? So I don't think we could discard and discredit people simply because they don't have a degree in something. We more have to deal with meritocracy more than
Now, you know, brother, in a sense, I agree with what you just said. If somebody's studying an area or a field, he may have a lot of knowledge in that field. But once a person claims the title of chemist or linguist or astrophysicist or astronaut, that's where we have a difference. And to me, and I'm not asking you to say that, I'm fine with you disagreeing with my stance. To me, it is fraudulent to claim a title that you haven't earned. You see? Now, the linguistics is one thing. He also claimed to be a historian. And to my knowledge, he doesn't have a single degree in history. So basically, he's claiming two titles
that he has not heard, that he has not earned it, and I take issues at that. Just like I take issue at some people giving the title of doctor to other people also, and we never heard them having that qualification. You see, so that's where the situation is. And now to go further, when it comes to the linguistics, the linguistic arguments of Asar Imhotep. Now, there is Dr. Sandro Capuscici, who is a PhD in linguistics. He has written and he disagrees with Asar and Mboli's argument and method. Then we have Dr. Obadele Campbell, who used to live in America. He relocated to Ghana, and he also disagreed with Asar's argument and also Mboli's arguments and method. So we have two experts. But for a strange reason, some people decide to put the opinion of an amateur, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully. He just doesn't have any degrees in the field, so he's an amateur in the field or an enthusiast. How can we put the argument or opinion of an enthusiast or the opinion of an amateur over the opinions of two experts? You know, that's what I'm wondering.
Okay, well, what I would say about that, right? I show that's to deal with the etymology of Kemet, right? And what happened is now they actually Shekanta Diop's etymology is that it refers to the literal people saying
Brother,
that
you're deflecting right now. You know you are deflecting right now. You know.
No, not deflecting. Why does they keep coming in every time I'm making a sentence just to say something like that?
Because you're talking about the origin of Kemet and you're talking about Shekanta Diop, and what I'm asking you, and I was long-winded, I admit it. But you know, we have two PhDs in linguistics who disagree with us.
What I was saying about the PhDs is that do those PhDs give the same definition of the word? That's what I was leading to, because
all PhDs, to answer your question, all PhDs in Egyptology give the same definition of Kemet, particularly the Kem. They all say that it means black.
But this is the part where we're getting down to the real root of the whole issue, right? Is that Diop, he gave a fringe to the so-called consensus interpretation of Kemet as referring to the people and the blackness of the people themselves, while the conventional Egyptological etymology of Kemet is to do with the nature of the flood water, the Kemet referring to the blackness of the soil and the banks of the water.
The soil, yes, not the water. You know, and that's where I misspoke. Okay, no problem. Now,
but hold on. I don't understand why sometimes you get passionate, because the next brother now, the riparians now, right? The riparians are literally saying practically the same thing as the Egyptologists that say in Kemet, referring to the blackness of the alluvial soil, because they talking about riparian zone, which is the banks of a waterway. So I really don't understand.
That's not what they're saying, brother.
Explain to me what does it mean then? How is riparian different from the Kemet?
Well, you know, Smash Rock, what he was in the chat, and I'm sure if you don't know his channel, that's how he spell SMASH.
I just go on Smash Manner. Enough respect to Smash Manner. I just listen and tune in.
Okay, so you know him fine. He has went to nearly all the attestation. Now, there's a word for riparian in the Medu Nature, but we don't have it in Kemet, you see. They are not saying, the riparians are not saying that it means black. Actually, we have Ujau and Osar on tape saying that the ancient Egyptians were not black. That's what they said. They're basically saying that the Kem doesn't mean black, that it doesn't have anything to do with color. And I have Asar Imhotep saying that on tape, that it doesn't have anything to do with color. He even put a challenge. He said, if you show the hair determinative or color determinative, I think it's D3, but I'm going off the memory, that will end the argument. And Netaneb happened to show that D3 determinative. So that should have ended the argument, but they are a bit stubborn. And you know, Diop talked about Kemet, he talked about the Kemet with the seated man and the seated woman and the three circles of plural. So he was talking about people, you see. Now, Kemet, translated by the Egyptologists, most of them, they would say, indeed, it's the black land. However, land is because of the Newt glyph, the 049 glyph, you know. But the Kem, all Egyptologists in the world translated as black, which means that these two dear riparian nuts, Asar Imhotep and Ujau, are going against all of
Egyptology as a field.
Let me get in a little sentence there, Shaka. So we get back to the same reasoning. The chem, right, according to the mainstream Egyptologists, is not in reference to a racial thing. They meaning the chem, meaning the richness of the soil. Do we agree with that?
Well, your sentence is particular. You're saying that all Egyptology
Not all, the mainstream consensus.
Yeah, the mainstream. Okay, the mainstream. Well, for example, James P. Allen, page 5 of his Middle Egyptian, he translates Henedit Kem as Henedit the Black. Now, if people want to argue the black doesn't deal with race, it's up to them. It's a color, and we see what black people look like here. Amenhotep III, you know. But indeed, it is true that the majority of Egyptologists will say that Kemet means the black land. They're not talking about black people. It's like when we say, for example, Black Africa, you know, Africa is a land. We're not talking about a group of people when we use the word Africa, because that denotes a place. However, when we say Black Africa, we all know that it means the inhabitants of what we call sub-Saharan, put that in quotation, sub-Saharan Africa, you know. But the thing here is, to me, whether it means black people or black land, because I'm aware of what people say. Literally, I say it means the black. That's what I've said for a long time. And some Egyptologists translate it as such. But the main point is that the I6 glyph, which is either some crocodile skin or crocodile scale or a piece of charcoal, indeed, like Diop said, and also like Bia Manley and Mark Collier. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Bia Manley and Mark Collier, they also said in that book that how to read Egyptian hieroglyphs, they also said that the I6 glyph is a piece of charcoal, you see. So when Diop makes a comparison with some wall of wood where we have charcoal, it makes a lot of sense. But regardless, the I6 glyph, Kem, K and M are conditional transliteration. All Egyptologists in the world translate it as black. And you know what's funny? We have Walter Williams, who says that he has the hieroglyphic has not been deciphered. Now, Walter Williams, I'm not aware of him having a PhD, and I've been asking for years if he has one. Please tell me in which field. But we have the whole field of Egyptology. For 200 years, people have studied the language, but yet he claims he hasn't been deciphered, which means that all the Egyptology in the world, and not only Egyptology, some people who study the Near East also study the Medu Neter. It means that all of those PhDs are wrong, but Walter Williams is right. So when it comes to the riparians, basically, Asaimotep and Ujau are right, but everybody else is wrong. But feel free to add on.
Okay, well, I think what's happening here is that they had novel ideas. And you know what? After I speak here, I'm going to just yield so that other brothers could go on, because I want to get on, like, if I'm taking over your show.
Yeah, I understand. It's fair enough, brother. Thank you for answering, though, you know.
No,
Brother Radio 1, feel free.
All right, go ahead. Next round.
Yes, okay, brother. Y'all want to touch on that about Walter Williams? Now, y'all never really had a chance to speak on him, but yeah, but when I listen to Walter Williams, okay, I listen to him deep. Okay, now Walter Williams is dangerous. Okay, Walter Williams will get you in trouble. Okay, because I heard Walter Williams say, okay, in one voice that we are the ancient Egyptians. But then he says, don't believe history. History is fake. History was made up. So I'm like, okay, if you're saying that we are the ancient Egyptians, then how are you going to demonstrate it and prove it if you're saying that history is fake? Now, I agree with him when he say we are the ancient Egyptians. But I agree with him. It's the truth. It's the truth to me, because it is what the history says. The same history that he says that is fake. Now, yeah, like a lot of these guys, man, like from the Armor Ra Squad, you know, the Mossy Warrior Clan, you know, which I've been on the panels. I never go back on the panel again. You know, a lot of these guys, man, like when it comes to like identity and who we are, I learned nothing from them. I learned nothing from Brother Reggie, Ankh, and Garfield when it comes to this subject. My knowledge comes from hard research, okay? Hard research and honesty, okay? And what these guys is doing, I mean, it's wrong and it's dangerous, okay? I mean, a lot of people and a lot of people who follow these guys, when they hear my teachings, they call me pseudo. Okay, but the only people that's really pseudo are the ones who have pseudo in their channel name. Okay, let's get that straight. Okay, because what these guys are doing, okay, it may sound good, okay, but 9 times out of 10, they're making it up. Now, as a historian, as someone who reads history, okay, I'm saying that they made it up. When they say the Egyptians were not black, that has nothing to do with history. It's made up. According to history, the ancient Egyptians were black. When they say that the ancient Ethiopians and Egyptians have nothing to do with West Africa, that has nothing to do with history. History does say that the ancient Ethiopians and the Egyptians were in West Africa. Okay, and that's why I say I learned nothing. Okay, and that's why, like, a lot of these debates, you know, why is it? Because they make it seem like it's sort of staged and like WWF like, you know, why is it Zion Lex is still a Hebrew Israelite?
Well, brother Radio One, he has his reasons for that, and but please hold that thought, Radio One. Okay, Afimi Wunahum, please hold that thought because we have Gula Gichi in the place to be, so I want to give him a chance to speak. Welcome, Gula Gichi. Feel free to speak, brother. Are you one of the Dagger Squad member or Pseudo Killer member?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Feel free to speak, brother.
Okay. Peace and black power to Brother Shaka and to the other brothers on the panel. How y'all doing today?
Chilling, brother. How about
So
yourself?
I'm pretty
Good,
good.
brother. What's up?
So what I want to say is this: is that it's starting to be common in the black conscious community that we disrespecting our elders when they laid the foundation for us, and there's nothing wrong with us critiquing their works, but we're supposed to build on their foundation. You know, they was going on the information that they had at their time, but we're questioning their credibility and the work they laid out for us. When each generation, you know, that we supposed to build on it from each, build on that foundation. So just like the information we have today, you're gonna have black scholars and historians from the generations to come to say that the information we have is outdated. But there's no need to call them pseudo or to question their degrees or their credibility. You know, so that's all I got to say. There's nothing wrong with critiquing
Who do you have in mind, brother? Like who's being
like,
labeled
for instance, I
pseudo
hear,
unjustifiably?
okay, I would say Dr. Diop or Dr. Ben. I don't heard Reggie, brother Reggie make statements like they put out pseudo information, stuff like that. So I'm saying just because it's outdated doesn't mean that it's necessarily pseudo. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, like I said, that's the information they was going by at that time. But as we discover things and we find archaeological findings, you know, the information is updated. So just like I say, for this time, we got information that we're going off of that we have, but they might find something 10, 15 years that refute the information that we have today, but we can't say it's pseudo. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, we just going by the information we have for that time period. So
Well,
like I said, there's nothing wrong with
yeah,
I'm
thank you
sorry.
very much. No problem, brother. Afimi, I'm gonna let you go, but I've read so many comments of people being shocked by what Reggie said about Dr. Ben and even Dr. Diop. Now remember Sekou Kele stating in the comment that Reggie said that Dr. Diop went to jail for running his mouth. I asked Sekou for the evidence, but I didn't get it. Now, if somebody is aware of Reggie stating that Dr. Diop and Dr. Ben were pseudos, then please let me know. Please give me the link to the video, if possible, the timestamp. I'm interested. Go ahead, Afimi Wunahum.
I just wanted to say on the last conversation that y'all were having, like I know the things that I know, but I don't go around saying that I'm
Like if you know about geography, you don't say I'm a geographer, for example.
Like professionally, I don't go around saying that I'm something that I'm not. I know that, you know, I've read on certain things when it comes to psychology, when it comes to history, so on and so forth. I don't actually go around calling myself a psychologist because I didn't go to any kind of school to become a psychologist. To me, it's a matter of integrity. And the other thing also is that there is a responsibility issue there because if somebody that I love, you know, mother, father, uncle, aunt, children, wife, or whatever, needed myself, had a tumor on the brain or whatever, need brain surgery, I'm not gonna be trying to have them, you know, get their brain worked on by someone who just claims to be a brain surgeon but never actually, you know, went to school for it, has no kind of accreditation, has, you know what I'm saying? They're not a real doctor. They're just someone that probably read a couple of books on brain surgery, and then I'm gonna let you operate on my brain, or, you know what I mean? So that's how I look at that stuff. That more detailed argument that you guys were having, I'm behind on a lot of that stuff about Kemet. Years and years ago, I had, you know, read about the word Kemet, and I remember stuff about the charcoal glyph, and I remembered the cross. I think it was called the crossroads glyph or something
Yes,
like that. Was a part of the name?
the Garden reference 049, we call it Newt in Medu Nature, but it is a crossroad, and according to Gardner at least, and I showed another scholar, but yet Ujau said that it has something to do with water, you know, and that's why we have a nickname Magic Medu Nature. But feel free to continue now.
All I was going to say was that what I remembered reading about the crossroads glyph was that it was a reference to, like, it was like a socio-political designation. So you're talking about a place, you know, with people basically. Like I remember seeing like Adinkra symbols in Ghana. Some of them have some Adinkras with X's inside of them. It could be, you know, a square with an X in it, or some other kind of shape with an X in it, and it's always a reference to a dwelling of people. So that's how I looked at it too, with from what I read in that book from Gardner. It's a reference to a place of people. So I never saw how people got the black land in reference to the soil from that.
They get it from the Kem glyph because Kem means black. It's translated as black.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I know the black part. I don't get where they get the soil part from.
Well, they get that from the Newt glyph, and maybe some people will argue from the or the loaf of bread, which makes it like that's like really the mark of the feminine most of the time. But the fact that we have the Newt glyph shows that it's talking about an actual place. And it's because of the Newt glyph that we actually translate like black land rather than just black period. It's not really
not black period, but I thought that Newt glyph to me meant like it's like they said, socio-political designation, like a city, like a nation, that kind of thing. Like, for instance, like
hold on, I can show you here. Now, this is Egyptian grammar by Gardner. That's on archive.org, and we do have the that's not what okay, I have it there. Okay, let me make it larger. So here, now I don't know if it shows well. Which page is it, by the way? Hold on. No, that's not the page here. Oh, okay. Oh, page 34. It's page 34. And here we have, I don't know if you see it, if it says Newt, town or city. And I don't know why when I close it, it does that. But let me go back to it again. Page 30. Yeah, here. You see, Newt. So the Newt is that thing. That's a crossroad, and maybe I might have another occurrence of it. Maybe towards the end when they describe what it is. But
There's
it is
along the
definitely.
left hand column there, left hand column.
Hold on. Now here says city, Newt City. I'm looking for the actual description. Well, 049. It would have been easier if I had my own copy, but I might. Okay, 049, page 472. There it is. So this is Gardiner, Sir Alan Gardiner's breakdown. We have the Newt 049. It says town, village, the southern city, Thebes, and so on. But hold on, 049. I don't want to be too long with it, but if people, and I will look for it actually. Keep going. I will look for the description actually.
So isn't
Yeah,
I would just like to put into the brother Afime 101 that they also when you're seeing they showing you the land that's far away from the river on the countryside, they call it deseret, and I think that's the origin of the word desert, right? But they have it like up as a pose. So deseret is mean red, like red land, and then kemet meaning black land, and like they come like diametrically opposed terms now, to refer to the two different parts of the country.
Well, indeed, Desheret or Desher is the word for red. Desheret indeed means desert. It sounds very similar to desert. Now, I wouldn't claim, though it wouldn't surprise me that that's where the English word comes from, unless we have the link, which most likely will be the Greek. But it is true, yes, opposed to the black land. So the red land, the desert, arid. I don't know if you use arid in English, but dry area, and then the fertile soil, because we've seen some pictures. The soil is like is black basically. So a lot of Egyptologists will focus on that and say, okay, Kemet, it has something to do with the soil. It doesn't have something to do with the people. But once again, we have James P. Allen, who is of European descent. He's not Afrocentric. And in page 5 of his Middle Egyptian, he translated Henenit Kemas, Henenit the Black. But keep going, Afimi Unaun.
Not much more to say. Just I was giving an example of like Akan people whenever they're talking about a black nation, literally the term that they'll use is Bibi Man, and Man or Oman is their word for nation, and the Adinkra symbol for it is again some kind of enclosure with an X. Like in Jamaica you have Rastas that call themselves Baba Ashanti, and Bibi from the Akan language. Baba is just a variation of that same word. And when they call themselves Baba Ashanti, Black Ashanti, the black that they're referring to is themselves, people. So it's kind of like a.
Hold on, brother. I've found it, so we can see the description of Gardiner. It's page 498. Oh, no, I have to go to window. So it's page 498 because you can see the previous. Oh, let me see if it's sharing first. Yes, it is. So the previous page is 497. Where is it? There. So it is on page 498, and we can see. Arrête, Nero, c'est pas bien ça. Arrête. We can see the O49 glyph here. So sign this O48 then 49, and it's described by Gardiner at least as a village with crossroads. And then we have different attestation, different meaning and translation. But the Riparianites, they say that it has something to do with water. So whatever people claim, let us see what text says that, which specialists or scholars said that. But what those guys have been saying for a long time is nobody has done the work, and we have people repeating this stuff. And not only they have claimed that they have this new thing, this hypothesis that we should accept as an absolute fact, but they have been very disrespectful towards people who don't share the same views. For example, Assad told Pan-African James, you have no argument You need to be quiet and go and read. Then he said that Diop was irresponsible. That Diop guessed. He said that Rekeli Amen was wrong, and she's been teaching the Mennonite for 30 years. He said that even James P. Allen was wrong. He said that Theophilo Benga was wrong. He even said that Theophilo Benga doesn't have a degree in linguistics. When I pointed out that he doesn't, but that's a lie because Dr. Theophilo Benga has some advanced degree in linguistics, and it is listed on the University of San Francisco, and even Ujau has that same bio on his own website. So yeah, I just wanted to say that for the record.
Something. And the bottom line is Sheikh Anta Diop, he didn't guess. He didn't guess.
And I guess I didn't see it. I didn't say it. Sorry, but yeah, I take issues of that because once again we're talking about the war of language. So I understand if he wants to say, okay, he didn't use today's method, but the way he's trying to portray Diop died in 1986. There's no way he could use the modern method. He used the method of the time, and besides, he did not guess. That's his native language. It's like somebody saying, oh, you know, Shaka guessed about the French. I mean, come on, man. You can say that about the German or any other language I'm not fluent in, but he was fluent in the Wolof, and that's a problem to me. Really, that is a huge problem, you know. But you know what, brothers, I'm gonna invite you to make your closing remarks. So I propose that we go clockwise. Uncle Majed, feel free to make your closing remarks, brother.
Yo, well, give thanks again for allowing me on your panel to share my thoughts and things. You know, I respect your politeness and your patience and whatnot, even though I might sometimes come and say things that you don't want to hear and whatnot. Give thanks for all the other brothers on the panel. I feel me wanna Radio One, V Bennett, you know, and give thanks, and I hope to be interacting with the brothers again in the future. Respect, yeah.
Thanks a lot, brother. Uncle Majed. Now, Radio One, feel free to make your closing remarks, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna close out saying, these guys will come up with all kind of silly arguments, because if it's proven that Kemet means black people, that destroys the whole Egyptians are not black lie,
Sorry, I just want to say I don't want them to use that against us. Now Kemet doesn't mean black people, you know. Now maybe we could argue Kemet you, but the root Kem means black. Whether it's people or land or it means black, just like today when we say black, you know. So feel free to continue, brother.
And I heard with Jaru's argument where he says, well, the ancient Egyptians did not depict themselves the same as the Nubians, and the Nubians are shown like literally jet black, but at the same time, the writings is coming from the ancient Egyptians. If they saying Kim, if they calling themselves Kim as in black, they're talking about themselves, and that means that they seen themselves, they saw themselves as coming from the same stock as the black Nubians, all I want to say is, stop making up stuff, man. I mean, like, be honest, man. Like when you deal with sources, you deal with words like Egypt, Ethiopia, you're dealing with classical history, and like you gotta keep everything in its perspective. But yeah, I mean, all these outrageous claims and no evidence to back it up, and guys just making up things. Stop it, because when you come with the disrespect, I'm going to ask you questions that I know you can't answer, and stop calling people pseudo because they disagree with you, and you can't, and you don't have the heart to come on the panel and challenge and tell me what I'm pseudo about, So that's I don't want to be too long with it, but that's all I want to say. Peace, brother Shaka.
Yeah,
Peace,
thanks, Radio One, for your statement. Before I let Afimi go, Who talked about, the ancient Egyptians not portraying themselves jet black, and it's not the case all the time. We have depictions of ancient Egyptians as jet black. I've shown one in the Louvre Museum where he has what will be described as a kente cloth or kente cloth tie or the shiki tie. Now, now it would not be incorrect to say that most of the time the Nubians will be depicted as darker.
just like when we look at today, the Nubians are usually darker than the ancient Egyptians. It does not make the ancient Egyptians non-black, you see. And Smash Rockwell and other people as well, but Smash Rockwell has shown some depictions of Nubian, and sometimes they have a lighter shade. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to say that, I mean, these are arguments from and I respect Wujawu once again, because we spoke like grown men for 3 hours. You know, the other guy, I invited him, he wouldn't talk. He's very disrespectful. He says you have comprehension issues. He's raised his voice like you're his child. And he said, you know, compared another one to a woman venting. He said that the other was irresponsible. So you know the whole deal. He even tried to school, or let's say tell Dr. Obadili Kambo, who is a PhD in linguistic, you know, basically almost like how to do his job. And that's what he said. He doesn't see any reconstruction of Yoruba and Akan, which just doesn't make sense. And Dr. Campbell told him, how does that make any sense to you? You know, but that's the guy who's, you know, wants to teach us linguistic and does crash courses in linguistic. But that being said, this is an argument because their claim is that since Kemet means riparian land or riparian zone, country that has something to do with water, then they have to remove the meaning of black. So then they will come with arguments that, oh, the ancient Egyptians were not black, the Nubians were black, and we saw what he did using, which color was it? Burge, I think it was, with Negro, the translation of Negro, which is clearly outdated. That's not the meaning. You know what I'm saying? And I dealt with that. And you see, I don't want people to think that I'm speaking out of hate, because we went to the text. And the one who went to the text the most is Smash Rockwell. I wouldn't have had the time and the patience that he had. He went through so many attestations thoroughly. So we're not speaking out of emotion. We're going by what the scholarship says. And the interesting thing that came out of it is that it appears that Kem or even Kemet may have been an ethnonym before it became a toponym. You see? So ethnonym, a term describing people, and toponym, a term describing a place. You see? And then they were finding some way to go when they came up with the Athribis discussion. You understand what I'm saying? And even when we spoke, he pulled out the French book that was actually contradicting them. So they are very skilled at picking up neophytes and telling them whatever they want to hear. And unfortunately, it's sad to say that I respect Wujawu, but he lied on air when he talked about the census. He first said, I'd asked him if he ever feel the census. He replied, I haven't felt one in a long time. And I said, thank you for confirming that you have felt the census before. What did you put in the census? Then he said, oh, I never feel the census. You understand what I'm saying? So we have him on tape lying. I wouldn't be surprised that he would lie for his theory, you know. But, you know, I don't want to be too long-winded with that. Afemi, Wunaum, please feel free to make your closing remarks.
I was just what you were just saying about it being an ethnonym before it became the name of a nation. That would be consistent all over Africa. Like the Ashanti people, when they created their empire, they called it Ashanti. You know, same thing with Fanti people and so on and so forth. My last words is just the last time a few days ago that I was on here, I was telling you about some research about talking about relationship between Niger Congo languages, West African languages, and like ancient Greek, ancient Latin. But I couldn't remember the guy's name. The guy's name is G.J.K. Campbell Dunn. I've sent you 2 links. Yeah, you heard of him?
Well, I heard of him the first time I spoke with Osar, when Osar was claiming that the Hebrews were black.
No.
When I was asking for a record, he said, well, I can give you a guy's name. He's called G.J.K. Campbell Dunn. Read his work. And I said, look, I want the record. I don't want the author. But keep going, brother. That was 10 years ago, though.
To your Facebook, I sent 2 links.
Oh, hold on, brother. You know my email address, right?
No.
No, let me share it. It's always best to contact me on the email, because the Facebook I kind of go there once in a while, like, you know. So here's my email address.
So you can use it there. And everybody else, please prioritize this email address for the Meta Lecture classes, because you can see I spend a lot of time right now. I spent 3 hours earlier. I spent some hours yesterday. I spent 7 hours. So yes, brother, feel free to copy and paste it to make sure there's no mistakes. There are 3 S's. All right.
I got it. I'm gonna send them to it's 2 books. One called Comparative Grammar, Etruscan and Niger Congo, and another one called Comparative Linguistics, Indo-European and Niger Congo.
And I'm glad you said that.
It's an old ass white man. He's like 82 years old down in New Zealand or something like that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned it, because at one point, Asar was claiming that some Niger Congo languages were closer to the Meta Lecture than the Coptic. But the Coptic is the latest phase or latest stage of the Meta Lecture. And that's why Dr. Mario Beatty, who is a PhD also, when he made a rebuttal of Asar's claim in ASCA, and this is on tape, he said Asar does not do a historical comparative method. What he's doing is ahistorical, so it means non-historical method. And he says Asar doesn't go through the Coptic, he goes around it, So
yeah, I'm not talking about any comparisons to.
Oh, I understand. I was just
Coptic,
just saying it for the record, but feel free, brother. Feel free.
It was just interesting to me, because when I was reading through it, because like I said last time I was here, I was like, there's a lot of times when some Jamaicans get around each other and are talking about the Creole and trying to trace certain words or whatever. A lot of times they'll attribute something to English because it just is so similar, like the word me that we use or whatever. We think that we're using the English word me when we're actually using the Tree word me, or se. We think that we're using the English word say because it's used the same way. It means the same thing, but there's additional meanings in Creole as well that you don't have in English, but that you do have in Tree. Not to mention just little things that we miss, like all AY words in Jamaican Creole is pronounced like yeah. It's all stretched out, just yeah. Pray, prier. All of a sudden I can't think of any words right now, but like crazy, crazy. It's all stretched out like that. Like we think when we say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and whatnot, that the day part on it, we think that's English, but we say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so on and so forth. I
would say that there are some the English, this particular part. The pronunciation, however, is different. But I agree with you when you talk about the
day. The word for day in Tree is de.
Yeah.
And it's set up the same way in that culture with their days. Monday is Joda or Jode. Tuesday, the English days of the week is God's basically first, and then day, with the exception, I guess you could say, of Monday, Moon Day. Tuesday is that's a Germanic god named Tus, or however you want to pronounce it. Wednesday, Woden's Day. Thursday is Thor's Day. Friday is Freya's Day. Saturday is Saturn's Day, so on and so forth. It's the same thing in Tree. That's a discussion in and of itself right there. But it's the same way that they set up the name of their days. And one of the things that I saw in this book was when he made a comparison between Anansi and the root word for spider, goes back to ancient Greek or Latin or whatever, arachnid. It's the root term that you have in arachnophobia. And if you like go to YouTube and listen to how they actually pronounce that word, it's not a hard CH like a K. arachni or whatever, it's softer. It's like arachni. And I easily, before I ever read this book, when I saw that, I was like, that's a Nancy. All that's going on is a little bit of what they call, I always just want to say metathesis, but maybe they pronounce it metathesis. I don't know. But it's where they switch around the letters. We do that a lot. And a lot of people do it in different languages or whatever. Instead of film in Jamaica, we say phlegm. And some people say Deuteronomy, some people say Deuteronomy. So that's all that's going on. It's just a little switching around of the word sounds. But anyway, I'm gonna send you the 2 books or whatever. I just thought it was pretty interesting.
Thanks, brother. But indeed, Twi is a language spoken in Ghana, and I think there's no coincidence why Rita Marley relocated to Ghana. I think she did some research and found out there's a fair bit of people who come from Ghana, like Nigeria and so on. But thank you for your closing remarks. Now, V. Bennett, you're free to make your closing remarks, brother.
I don't think he's still there.
All right. Well, I'm going to make my closing remarks. We have 128 people watching right now. I did not get a single donation, however, but we got some information, and it is what it is. Now, stay safe, stay healthy. Tiens, tu dis bonjour, tiens.
Peace.
Dis bonjour. Dis hotep. Plus fort, mes routes. C'est bon, man, c'est bon. Now, stay safe, stay healthy. And if I'm allowed to by the Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Do I Necheru, hotep.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Nature classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. it's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know like our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, you know, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medunetia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'at4ever.